All right, once I begin this segment, we can't interject for anything else, okay? Because I want to focus 100% of my attention on this one, okay? All right. The signs in Minneapolis right now, there's a video basically saying the Dems are at fault. It's pretty disgusting. Yeah, I'm not surprised. He's a fucking grifter. Okay.
We need more information. Yeah, we need more information about.
Uh-oh. Oh, you're not prepared for this? I know. And I love you for it. I love the doodle, by the way. I really appreciate that doodle. You need you need to make me look more tired, okay? I don't look tired enough in this one, okay? Just draw 2 lines. And then you got me, okay? But it's amazing. I love it. Thank you. Because in where's the one that I actually commissioned? So I believe in the one drawn by Expunged. In the one drawn by Expunged. I love that he made me look hella bored, okay? That is the Discord profile that I use, by the way. The Discord profile that I use is drawn by Expunged. God, where is it? This guy, dude, I don't know why I have so many smut artists, like, follow me, okay, who... just so many smut artists. It's just so many. Look, okay, I know who you are, okay? Where is this? Yeah, here it is. Here's the original one. This is beautiful. Okay, this is posted on r/destiny. Look at this. This is my yeah, game recognized game. This is Destiny, okay? This is supposed to represent Steven. But yeah. This is Steven talking about his lawsuit, and I'm just like droning him out. Okay. Okay, are we ready for this? I don't even know if I'm ready for this. I'm just trying to delay it on purpose. Fuck me.
This
Okay,
before
well.
you can just go and immediately pop. We need more information.
2 hours. This is a movie, okay? This is a fucking movie, okay? 2 hours. 2 hours. Okay? This is a fucking movie. Yeah. They can't help it. You're just artistogenic. I can't get it. Okay? I mean, like, I try to be stylish. I wear fashion. So I kind of understand. Right? I understand why I'm being drawn.
Yeah, we need more information about this before you can just go and immediately pop off about it. But anyway, so this is a video of what happened, right? So I guess this is the guy right here. I want to watch the original video that came out first, and then we'll go back. We'll work backwards from that. So obviously, yes, there's more to it than this, but this is the first video that was released that at least I saw.
Dude, someone should just make like a super fast edit of like Asmongold waving his hands around trying to explain this away. Because, yeah, you forgot to advertise? What do you mean? What do you mean? Pretty sure I advertised, no?
So this is the guy. And, like, I'm gonna be honest, like, it can't even see what the fuck happened.
What?
Like, straight up. Like, I mean, how does anybody know what happened?
He's memeing, right?
I mean,
Ask
really, like, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay, right. I have to ask for money. Guys, okay? I can't do this without you guys, okay? You guys are great. You guys provide me with a bunch of moral support. But moral support, as great as it is, does not transfer into greens. Okay? Alright? I like the green. Okay? I like the green. Okay? So please consider donating to me, okay? I'd really appreciate that. You know? I love you guys. Alright.
He got shot? Yeah, I've got a feeling that probably happened. But, like, besides that, look towards his feet. I mean, I can't... guys, I don't think that my vision is bad. You can't see shit in this video. You can't see shit in this.
Bro, I wonder what's the first to go for Asmongold, his hair or his vision? Oh,
So
my
anyway,
Lord.
let's go. There apparently is another video. This is the new video. Let's take a look at it. Okay, here we go. All right. There's other videos? Yeah, I know. I was just saying, like, all I was saying is that I think that people jump to conclusions, like, insanely fucking fast without even, like, you have this video and it's being recorded, like, through a little fucking lens like this. And, like, how the fuck is anybody gonna see even what happened? Okay, this one's TOS.
What?
Let me know when does the TOS part come up?
What the fuck is wrong with you?
So it's just somebody yelling. Okay, so this is the guy, right? This is the person right here who. So this is the officer, and he pushes her away, and this guy gets in the way. Okay.
He gets sprayed, tackled.
Okay, and so I'll pull it aside and I'll watch it so I can see if it's actually TOS or not. He does have the gun for sure. Absolutely 100% that's the gun. Is that the same gun?
Okay, yeah, so what?
That is the gun, 100%.
Why are you so shocked? All right.
And then they shoot him. If they disarm this guy, I'm going to be honest. If they disarm this guy and then they shot him.
Disarm him from what? A holstered gun? How is he being disarmed there? How you're disarming? What are you disarming exactly? Are you disarming him from the real weapon, which is his camera? Like, what's going on here? What are you talking about? Okay, based.
Yeah, they executed him.
Okay, so
it looks like they pulled his shirt up. And then it's this guy right here that has the gun, right? So there's the gun right there. And see, that thing gets in the fucking way.
A martini, shaken, not stirred.
Cats are okay. Thank you so much for the $2. I appreciate that. Thank you.
A martini, shaken, not stirred.
Okay, you didn't donate twice.
I don't know what.
Thank you.
This is like the exact time for it not to get in the way.
Yeah, like there's like 5 other angles. Okay, just catch them.
And then somehow, yeah,
Chill.
it was not the guy's gun. That's not the bad guy's gun. Bad guy's gun. Yeah, I don't know if it is or not. I mean, it would make, like, logically, you would assume that it is. Because, like, I mean, the guy reaches over him with an empty hand, and then his hand comes back, and he has the gun. You would logically assume that he just picked up the guy's gun, especially whenever usually somebody has a gun that's on their side, right? And that's kind of where he reached. Don't get into a physical altercation with a federal agent holding a weapon, you won't get shot. It's a huge mistake to do that. I totally agree. He's totally in the wrong for doing that. But I think that this is such an easy...
Wait, sorry? He's in the wrong for what exactly? What is he in the wrong of? There's no car here. There's no ambiguous camera angles or reversing of the wheels and like some fucking ice memes. All right, there's nothing here. What are you talking about?
Okay, this is how I'm looking at it, right? Guy gets thrown down. Okay, so this is it. Did he reach for the gun?
No.
Right? This is my
not.
decision tree of like what works and what doesn't. Yes? No. Okay. It's that simple. Clear image. Okay, this is another one right.
No. If you guys don't know, didn't know what he just wrote. He said no. If it's no, then investigation needed. If it's yes, then it's rip bozo. Okay. If it's yes, then it's rip bozo. If it's no, then investigation needed. Okay. He would never apply this if it was a leftist doing this. Okay. If there was a leftist or a liberal doing this, he would never apply something like this because we don't even grant it for Charlie Kirk. We don't even grant it for Charlie Kirk, okay? Just so you know, all right? Like, we would not be going like, well, you know, yeah, Charlie Kirk got executed, but investigation needed. Like, we wouldn't be saying shit like that, okay? Like, 100% we would be saying shit like that. So, yeah, good memes, I guess, Asmongold.
Here. Clearer image shows the firearm removed from the scuffle by the agent prior to the shooting was almost definitely the victim's SIG P320, meaning he was unarmed when shot by agents with Border Patrol and Immigration's Customs Enforcement. That does look exactly like it, because it has the same orange thing right there. It's hard to judge right now. Yeah, it is. Stop justifying this bullshit. Well, I feel like what I'm saying about this is extremely fair. This is extremely fair. Is that if they went and they grabbed his gun and then they shot him, they're obviously in the wrong. It's not even a question whether they're in the wrong or not. Yeah, it's very fair. Yeah, I'm being completely fair about this.
No, you're not. You're trying to downplay it on purpose, and everybody sees that. Like, anybody who isn't like a mindless Asmon roach or drone, like, would know like what this looks like, right? Like, what it looks like is that you are trying to sandwash the situation. You're trying to provide an explanation outside of outrageous to the situation, because there is no rational reaction to this situation other than outrageous, right? But you're trying to provide like the logical, calm, like analytic perspective of this when I don't think there is any, because there are multiple camera angles. We can clearly see the events play out, right? The gun is being taken away from him and he is still being shot, right? We have multiple people, it seems, laying the bullets into him. And yeah, like you are sandwashing. You're producing propaganda. This is propaganda, okay? Because I'm sure that when it comes to justifying, like when it comes to downplaying or sandwashing the Bosnian genocide, like they have said things such as, "Oh, all sides commit war crimes, including us," right? So it's not like they don't admit that they're in the wrong. They admit that they're in the wrong, but everybody's in the wrong. So therefore, this is why messy shit happened, right? You need to recognize propaganda for what it is. Like, this is propaganda, okay? This is propaganda. Like, it's very clean, very clear. This is propaganda.
I think that, like, in general, like, I've always said this. Obviously, police make mistakes. 100% police are going to make mistakes. By the way, like, I'm not tied to the idea that the police never make mistakes or they never do anything wrong. And if this is an instance of it, there has to be accountability. There does. It's not even a question. It's sure, like, I mean, the only thing is that, like, if I look at this and I zoom in on it, right? And we're going to enhance. We're going to enhance massively. Man, I mean, like, that looks a lot like the other gun. It does. It looks a lot like it. Now, I understand. Now, think about it like this, right? If I was going to draw the outline of this gun, this is how I would draw the outline. That's the only part of it that I can tell. That's looking pretty fucking close.
What's your point?
That is pretty fucking close right there. I mean, I'm sorry, but, like, that shit is almost 1 for 1. It's 100% the same gun. Like, if I was going to bet, right? If I was going to bet on whether this is the same gun, I'd say it was. If you said, all right, flip a coin, which side do you think that it's going to land on? I think this is the same gun. Yeah, I feel like there's a very, very obvious... Let me go back. I'm trying to read the rest of these. Armored vehicle entering the scene near the shooting. See, this is what I've said before, is that, like, if they had brought in the military, this would have never happened. Everything in the videos are just so messy, it's basically impossible to make any definitive conclusion.
They brought in the military? You mean to... Well, now Tim Moss is bringing in the military. What is his narrative now? Like, where is his narrative now that Tim Moss is bringing in the military? I'm curious.
That body cam footage? You're right, but I would say that 80% chance... This is...
What definition of police is everyone using? The police that Asmongold is referring to is any police who is willing to execute who Asmongold considers his enemy.
And I think that it's very important right now that if this guy did get shot when he was unarmed, that there is accountability for ICE for doing this. Because you can't have, like...
Motherfucking won't. I mean, there probably will be, but I don't know about that one.
For
Okay.
example, whenever they shot the woman
I guarantee you, Trump is already writing up a pardon. Okay.
with the car, that Renee
I
Good,
guarantee you.
I think that like it was
I guarantee you that Trump is already writing up a pardon for the person who shot Renee Good and now the person who has shot Alex Pretty. 100%. 100%. They're already writing up the pardons.
much more ambiguous. I think that it's very obvious that if you're shooting an unarmed man whenever they're being restrained by 6 other people or 7 other people, very, very clearly your life was not in danger. You're not defending yourself from a deadly threat.
If it ever gets up to federal, then boom, pardon, right?
This person's unarmed, and that's it. There's literally no excuse for it. And I'm a big supporter of ICE. I think ICE is great. I think they should deport every single illegal alien in the country.
Yes, we know, okay? You're a fucking cock gobbler and you're a bootlicker, okay? You like the taste of semen and dirt, all right? We get it, okay? You're a roach. Yes, that's what roaches are into, all right? Bile and filth. That's
All
you.
that being said, you can't have ICE because I'm a supporter of ICE. That means that I need to have accountability for ICE. Trump's a retard for not sending in troops 2 months ago. Yeah, 2 weeks ago. I know. Trump is going to be Biden for having his brain fried for doing too many things domestically and internationally. Yeah, I think so too. Motive was found on his social media. He was retweeting Kill ICE agent TikToks. That's fine, but I don't think that they shot him knowing what was on his TikTok page. Like, I mean, realistically, like, I don't think this guy's a saint, right? Like, I don't think that this is some kind of like innocent.
Dude, they're doing the thing that they did with George Floyd, where it's like, oh my god, George Floyd totally had it coming because he had fentanyl in his system, and he was black. He did black things. He was just black, okay?
Guy that did nothing wrong. Like, you should have not gone on there. You should have not been obstructing the police. You shouldn't have been touching the police. You shouldn't have gone up to the police and done that with a gun. You shouldn't have been resisting arrest. He did all those things wrong, but none of that justifies shooting the guy in the moment, other than the fact that your life is in danger. Like, they didn't do a TikTok review before they shot the guy. Do you think any of this is martyr syndrome or desired suicide? I think that a lot of these people, this is the problem, is that people like Tim Walz go out there and they, basically like amp up this idea that ICE are not police enforcement, ICE are not law enforcement. ICE are absolutely law enforcement. This is the easiest Google search of your life. It's very clear that they're law enforcement. So when you've got him out there saying that, when you've got him...
But they don't work with the police. They don't work with the police. Okay? There is no police protecting ICE. There's no whatever. They come and go as they please, right? They're like shock troops almost for Trump.
Out there that, like he says peacefully protest, but he never explicitly says not to interfere and attack federal law enforcement. Because if Tim Walz had come out there and he had said very clearly,
Bro, this guy is actually so fucking disgusting. I can't believe Twitch will not do anything for anybody like Asmongold or for Hassan. Like, the two of them, all right? And everybody in their orbits. Like, these people are some of the most disgusting, like, vile, evil demons on Earth, okay? Like, these people need to be purged from the platform ASAP. Jesus Christ.
do not interfere with federal law enforcement.
But we all
do
know
not
Twitch
try
is
to touch federal law enforcement.
We
Do
know
not
that Twitch
impede
is
their
Satan's
investigations.
platform,
Do
okay?
not be violent towards them. And he said that just in plain English. I think that would go farther than almost anything else.
Yeah,
But
7
he's
days
not
ban for
doing that.
Lakari.
Tim Walz is live. Okay, give me a minute. Let me see if I can find it. Where is
So
it?
stupid.
And today that campaign claimed another life. I've seen the videos from several angles, and it's sickening.
Yes.
But I have a strong statement here for our federal government. Minnesota's justice system will have the last word on this.
Just like they did with the last
must
one.
have the last word. As I told the White House in no uncertain terms this morning, the federal government cannot be trusted to lead this investigation. The state will handle it, period. Let me say something else, and this is critically important. All of us understand what happened this morning and the tragedy of it, and my deepest sympathies to the family
You turn it up.
of a 37-year-old Minnesota resident, a lawful firearm concealed permit carrier, something that I've been lectured to by Republicans
Was it
for
lawful to
decades.
assault a federal officer?
It is not only your right, it's your duty.
So after he's been disarmed, his punishment is death? He assaulted him with his phone? With his gun?
We know that the potential to further inflame tensions is high. And to Minnesotans,
Oh, it's so cooked. It's
there's a
totally
difference.
cooked.
We
It's
want calm and
100%
peace and
cooked.
normalcy back to our lives. They want chaos. We cannot and we will not give them what they want by meeting violence with violence.
Then tell them to stop impeding arrests.
Minnesota and our local law enforcement, as you have seen,
Tell them to stop doing
have
it.
done everything possible to de-escalate. Local media has reported extensively on the cooperation to
telling them to
de-escalate
stop.
this situation.
Jesus.
Donald Trump, I call on you once again. Remove this force from Minnesota. They are sowing chaos and violence. We've seen deadly violence from federal agents again and again and again. But in contrast to that, on these frozen streets, what you witnessed yesterday was the best of Minnesotans, peacefully exercising their First Amendment rights. And I attended in the church basement hundreds of Minnesotans from all faith packing care packages for families that have been ripped apart. Despite the horrific acts by this federal government, Minnesotans are standing up for the rule of law.
Remember I
They're
said they
protesting
should have brought
loudly
in
and
the military
urgently,
last
but
week?
peacefully. It must
2
stay that
weeks
way,
ago?
Minnesota.
None of
Minnesotans
this
are
would have
witnessing,
happened.
and we're creating a log of evidence for the future.
The fucking sign language interpreter is spitting right now, okay? Alright, whatever the fuck she's doing, I hope she's happy, okay? Look at her. She's fucking going off right now. I have no idea what the fuck she's doing, okay? But look at her.
Prosecution of ICE agents and officials responsible
see?
for this. They're helping their neighbors. They're walking their kids to school. They're feeding families. I salute their courage and their restraint. And I call on all Americans to see the decency that
Is
this
Ron
state is
Lyman accurate?
exhibiting.
I don't care.
And the
I don't give a fuck.
horrific cruelty,
She just looks like she's spitting, and that's all I care about.
unprofessional, absolute abomination
was there for 8
that is
years.
passing for what these ICE agents are doing on our streets. They think they can provoke us into abandoning our values. Well, they're dead wrong. We'll keep the peace. We'll secure the justice with our neighbors, and we'll see this occupation ends. Minnesotans and Minnesota law enforcement that continuously is being denigrated by this administration will continue to be the adults in the room, the professionals in the room, the decent human beings in the room that will keep the peace. With this, I'd like to turn it over to Department of Public Safety Commissioner Bob Jacobson to update you on the situation. As
See, he never tells people to not go and impede investigations or the law enforcement. That's the problem.
Yeah, and Trump never tells his fucking federal agents to back the fuck off and not fucking escalate situations. What's your point?
Is that he's
Governor.
really
Nor do you ever clean up your room and fucking stink up your fucking house and provide it and turn it into a fucking biohazard for your entire fucking neighborhood.
the one that's making
I bet your fucking neighbors can smell your fucking house from here. Jesus.
this happen.
I'm Bob Jacobson, Commissioner of Public Safety for the Department of Public Safety, and again, it's my honor to serve. in that
Never. He
position.
never has said that. Excuse me.
A man was shot and killed this morning in Minneapolis. I want to pause and remember what cannot get lost in this moment. A man died. His family and friends are feeling unimaginable heartbreak and trauma. And I know Minnesotans and I know our community will rally around this man's family and friends to support him. I also understand clearly that people are upset. They're scared. They're confused. And I want to assure you that this state's public safety officials and our local law enforcement partners are doing everything in our power to get answers, to help return a sense of normalcy back to our communities. You have the right to demonstrate peacefully. We recognize that
are they gonna say
demonstrations
it?
are often
Wait,
driven by
they
strong
might say it.
emotions, beliefs,
They might say
and a
it.
desire to be heard.
Oh, here we go.
But please, please remain peaceful. And I want to say it again that because it is important.
Surely this will be enough for Asmongold, right? But no. Remember, Asmongold's modus operandi is to create agitation propaganda for the far right, okay? His entire audience is a bunch of far right accelerationists who want to see the end of this world just so then they can implement their fantasy fascist government or something, right? They are fascist accelerationists, okay? Okay? They are not left-leaning accelerationists, okay? They want to move as fast as they could towards a fascist utopia for themselves, okay?
And it is critical. Peacefully demonstrate. By doing
will
so,
not be
you help
enough for
local
him, I guarantee
authorities
it.
to get answers. You help us to do our investigations.
Not
By
enough,
remaining
nope.
peaceful, you help ensure nobody else may be killed.
How many clinkers? Sorry, how many undocumented in his community? Well, they're just a bunch of clinkers, right?
or injured.
Who knows? I don't know. Good memes.
The thousands and thousands of people who gathered yesterday in Minneapolis proved that Minnesotans can make their voices heard peacefully, and they can do so without violence and they can do so without destruction.
I wish they didn't even say this. Don't give Asmongold what he wants, okay? Because what he wants from you will never be good enough. He's like an abusive partner, you know? No matter how much you give and give and give, he only takes and takes and takes. At some point, you just have to kind of call the relationship and break up, right?
And state resources are available and ready to support our local law enforcement partners as requested. And those resources include the Minnesota State Patrol, the Bureau of Criminal Apprehension, and the Minnesota National Guard. With that, we'll stand for questions.
Oh, here we go.
Governor, you've made this request before. Is there any reason to believe that it will be answered differently? Have you had any conversations with the president, with the federal government, and is there any indication that they are going to pull out or back down?
Of course not.
Well, I spoke twice this morning, shortly after I received the call of this shooting. I spoke with the president's chief of staff, and
How'd that go?
That does so to be very clear, Timu Hassan here just said, of course not, and then he was immediately countered. Okay, and he doesn't take anything back. Good memes, okay? Very funny. Haha.
first request was to get her people out of there, to get these federal agents out of there. They were
what'd
going
they say?
to cause more chaos. And second call is, with no uncertain terms, that we will investigate this. We will not be stonewalled. What we've already seen, and you saw it this morning,
Is that their decision to
before any
make?
investigation is done,
If it's a
you
federal
have
officer, I don't think
the
it's a
most
state
powerful people in the
investigation.
federal government spinning stories and putting up pictures and unrelated people who we don't know anything about, and a picture of a firearm
Yeah.
to try and spin a narrative. And I ask Americans, this will end when enough Americans say this will end.
Yeah, it
Do I have
will.
any confidence Donald Trump will do the right thing? No, I don't.
No,
have a lot
I
of
don't. He
confidence
should have
Donald
done the
Trump will do
Insurrection
right
Act
thing.
last week.
I do have a lot of confidence that the majority of the American people will do the right thing. And I think there cannot be very many people across this country looking right now, after all the reporting that's been done, after everything that's been said, under the pretense that they are here about immigration reform, and quit referring to these people as law enforcement. They are not law enforcement. We have law enforcement who do an incredible job. And to listen to Greg Lupino denigrate the work of our people who are out there cleaning up their mess, no, I don't have a lot of confidence that he...
Crash out is whenever I give an impassioned speech about someone who is just literally lynched in the street, okay? That's a crash out, okay? Making fun of a crash out means whenever you have a justified reason to crash out, and then you're like, haha, crash out, haha, crash out. Yeah, I just like raped and murdered your entire family, but you're crashing out over it, ha ha ha. Oh, okay, all right. Well, I mean, maybe it wasn't right to rape and murder my entire family, but okay.
Himself will do it, but here's what I do have confidence in.
Oh, man.
There's a whole lot of Republicans,
Here we
for
go.
whatever reason, cannot find their spine.
Yeah.
But they might find the ability to know that they're not going to win another election.
I
as long
told
as they
you.
live, unless they
I
stand
told
up for
y'all
what's
this shit
right,
was gonna
and
happen.
Stand up for the rule of law and stand up for human decency, and that's the moment.
Baldy's in it. He's in it down to the last man. He's gonna go down with his ship.
Who are in the middle right now because if they
Yeah.
just stonewall and you're trying to investigate.
You shouldn't be one to comment on his hair, but okay. I mean, at least they accepted that they're bald, I guess. Is that your only thing against them? Is that they're bald? But okay. All right. We'll see what goes first, okay? Your eyesight or your hair, Asmongold, okay?
Yeah, no, it's a good question. And,
Yeah,
and
what are
look,
you gonna do?
I speaking to
You
the
ain't gonna
people
do
of
shit.
Minnesota right now. I hear that scream from you, and I'll continue to plead and ask
There's a
you
lot
for
of screams.
peace. And I know the answer is you ask us for peace and we give it, and we get shot in the face on the streets coming
That's
out of a donut
peace whenever
shop.
you go after somebody?
We cannot
What
give
do you
them
mean?
what they want. I don't know how to say this in so many terms to watch the madness that we've witnessed over this last week coming out of the White House and what it's doing here. My confidence is, and I say it to Minnesotans, as I've said, exercise your First Amendment rights, speak out, bear witness and document legally. But I understand the risk in that.
He
And I
never
understand
says
the courage
to stop
that it takes
impeding.
to have people out there
He
doing
never
this.
says it.
Thank God, we have video. Because according to
I told you guys what he said was not enough for Asmongold, and what happened? What happened? What did I tell you guys?
DHS,
Man.
these 7 heroic guys took an onslaught of a battalion against them or something. It's nonsense, people. It is nonsense and it's lies. So my confidence is this, Minnesotans. You know who you are, and you demonstrate it every single day, and we damn sure know who these people are. The American public knows, and this needs to be the event that says enough. Go ahead. No, I'm up front.
Governor Carolyn Cummings, either you or Commissioner Davidson speak to the fact that you talk about you don't trust the federal government to handle this investigation.
Federal
Shooting, BCA said that they were blocked from accessing evidence. Has there been any suggestion that BCA is not allowed to do this investigation? Do you have officers on the ground?
Well, yeah, I don't think they even can.
The question
Let's
was
see.
related to whether or not the BCA is on the ground currently with the investigation, and a reference to previous investigations that the BCA has attempted to be a part of. What I'll tell you right now is that we no longer have BCA agents or public
Your
safety, state
translator.
patrol, or Minneapolis on the ground at that crime scene.
Is that an instruction by the federal government, or did you pull your agents out?
Pawn
What I
market
will
on
tell you,
insurrection, that could be
and not to
crazy.
get further into the investigation, but DHS pulled out of the scene, leaving that to Minnesota State Patrol, Minneapolis. We did not have enough resources to be able to hold that ground safely, and we had to leave that scene because of the number of people that were available and the safety of those in the public and the safety of our teams. We were able to get there, but at that time we were not able to hold that scene to do a crime scene investigation. I can't talk any more about those details.
Who is handling the investigation, if not either DHS nor state officials right now?
We'll have more on that, but the BCA is engaged and involved, and we are working at the request of the Minneapolis Police Department on this, on the scene
See
and
the close-up?
in this investigation. So we are there. We're
The guy
available.
shot one
We
ICE
wanna make
officer
sure
in the
that we
knee
continue
first?
to
I don't
work
think
on
so.
this and engage with our federal law enforcement. But at this point, we don't have anything more to share about the crime scene. Again, we were
I don't
not
think he
able
shot
to
the
hold it.
gun.
We wanted to make sure and keep people safe, but federal law enforcement left the scene and left us there.
Governor Ernesto, within your time, have you activated the National Guard? I know that the sheriff
Yeah, this is what they need to do. They need to have National Guard.
whether they're going to be playing a role in keeping
Yeah, yes, the answer is yes, we have, as we said last week, and we staged those troops. I'll have General Menke talk about where they're at, and again, use this as an opportunity to stress to Minnesotans the frustration you have, and as you saw this, they killed a man, created chaos, pushed down protesters, threw gas indiscriminately, and then left the scene, and then we're left to clean up. I understand the anger. I understand trying to parse who were the law enforcement on the
mauling.
scene when you got there after a
He's
man was
upset.
killed is difficult for the folks who are out there. But I can't stress enough, our goal, and I'll have General Menke talk about
Minnesota
what the
so many
role
nut
of these
jobs?
guard troops are
The government
in
lets it happen.
conjunction with incredible work from the
This would
Henderson
happen
County
everywhere if the
Don't
government
miss
let it
Sheriff's
happen.
Office, from
Is there a term for people who seek victimhood to separate just victims from those contribute to the situation a lot? Cloud sharks? Cloud sharks? I don't know. Maybe cloud sharks. I have no idea.
mutual aid across, and of course the State Patrol, of trying to get to the point where what we're saying is we can handle this, and Minnesotans can express their First Amendment right
Name is Brianna Wu. Haha, haha.
and have our folks on the streets and get these people
Yeah, like
out
they
of
don't-
here.
they don't
And
activate the
so,
police, et
John, if
cetera.
you want to talk a little bit, but the answer is yes, there's activated. He can talk to you about numbers.
To be clear, that they're activated different
Yeah.
than having them staged.
Yeah.
So the question is, what's the National Guard doing right now? So we
Yeah.
have, we have been on state active duty for over a week. So we've had soldiers prepared in the metro area to respond in a much rapid manner than if they were not mobilized. So we have a request from the Hennepin County Sheriffs to support them, and that is to help them free up additional resources for other work that they need to do. And we have started coordinating with them this morning on that. And that first area of support will be assisting them with their requirement to provide security to the Whipple building. So we'll be helping them there. And then we are in
Oh, thank
parallel
God.
planning with
Yeah.
other organizations within the state of Minnesota to include the State Patrol,
See, that's what they should have done
Minnesota
at the beginning.
DNR, and other local agencies to render assistance if requested. I would say that the number that we have is adequate for the requests that we have right now, and I will also tell you that we are bringing more resources
Yep.
that will be able to respond in a timely manner that are
Remember
not
that
fully
shit? It was a
mobilized yet,
joke.
but we are mobilizing more soldiers as we talk at this time. I'd like not to get into specific numbers for an operational security standpoint, but right now we have all the
Not
resources
being used to
meet
separate
the requests
agitators
that
from
we have.
ICE. Yeah, I know.
I would note on this one, too, that we'll be billing the federal government for the cost of the National Guard because they are incurring the costs that are falling on us by their
He's so
reckless
mad.
actions. Yes, sir.
Oh boy.
Is this all just a game to you? The lives of people? What's wrong with you? What the fuck is wrong with you, dude?
He's really gonna go down with the ship, isn't he? I mean, I gotta respect it in a way.
Me rejecting the idea that he played some role with
He's gonna go to war for those Somalian fucking
I'm rejecting the rush to
illegals.
judgment within 15 minutes of this, which they did last time. That's why you need to have a fair investigation.
But didn't
and
you
that's
do
why
that?
a video can show one thing, but what happened beforehand. But they already will slander this individual.
I said
They've already
that.
made this the case, and I will just say you will all start to see it, and some of you probably have. There's multiple angles of this.
Yeah.
And I'll go back to what we talked about before. They're telling you not to trust your eyes and ears, not to trust the facts that you're seeing in front of them. And at some point in time, your reporting, and I think your reporting this week has been spectacular across Minnesota, that there's not two sides to every story. But in this situation, what I'm saying is we need to have a fair investigation, understanding what's happening and held accountable.
A fair investigation is one that
We continue
you
to hear,
do.
and we heard it from the vice president, that these folks can do whatever they want. They can have full immunity. And what I'm telling you is they will not. There will be justice to Minnesotans. Continue to gather the information. So I won't say where it is because I think it's irresponsible to make that judgment. But what I see with my eyes and what you're going to see with your eyes makes that pretty hard to believe. And I would imagine as a federal officer, they would have come out and sounded like these professionals sound and say, we need to gather the information, we need to gather all the facts, we need to put them forward, and then we can make some informed decision based on the fact. They've written the narrative already. And the audacity to critique the police chief of Minneapolis after what work that those heroic officers are trying to do, and to be critiqued by this guy, I mean, I don't know. I've said it a lot, but America, as you're listening, enough is enough. Enough is enough of this. End this. End this. And we see them moving to Maine. If you're in Boston, you're in Chicago, you're in Philly, you're in Miami, it doesn't matter.
Miami's not going to have this problem.
Our children are in trauma.
The police help the fucking
A
federal
5-year-old.
government.
You saw the picture, the bunny hat and the Spider-Man.
He's
These are
trying
not
to
like
use
some
the
narrative to
5-year-old.
throw around, to parade around in some coat you had made and act like
my
you're a tough guy
God.
or whatever. These are people's lives. And we have rule of law. So I'll let the investigation play itself out. We will do our best to find it. But I don't know, you kill a man and then you just leave, your law enforcement just leave. Is there a single case in American history where you just like walk away and say, I guess that just happened and we're not going to clean up our mess? I'm proud of Minnesotans. I'm proud of law enforcement here and our partners, and we'll get to the bottom of it. I think we have time for another one. So yes, ma'am.
They're calling on state and local law enforcement to, quote, help coordinate to get violent criminals off.
Yeah, he won't even answer the question.
Better off to let these guys, the professionals. I have my thoughts.
Oh, God. He won't even answer.
So the question was, what are we doing to assist federal law enforcement
Tim's
on
contributing to
getting
mass hysteria? He
violent
is.
criminals off the street, if I understand the question?
He absolutely is.
State and local law enforcement are always ready and willing and able to arrest violent offenders. We do not stand down from that, no matter where we get that information from. If there are violent offenders or violent criminals or violent crimes, we will investigate and we'll bring those to justice. If the federal government would like to work with us, to continue to work with us as they have in the past, to locate those violent offenders, we are always open to those discussions and always willing to assist. We do not ignore that. We are ready and able, and we do that. All of you, as part of the media, hear us arresting violent offenders all the time. We have not stood down. That is our mission. The federal government is not alone in arresting violent offenders.
Sure seems like it.
State and local law enforcement does that every day at great risk to their life, at great risk to the community.
Sure seems like
we
it.
do it because we want a safe Minnesota, and the federal government is not the only one to do that.
Thank you.
That's it?
I'm here. I'm not going.
Rape, homicide, manslaughter. That's who they're trying to protect in Minnesota. Rape, homicide, manslaughter. That's who they're trying to protect in Minnesota. I do not understand these people. We sent Governor Walz a very strong letter today.
She got to go. Oh, she's got to go. They got to get rid of her. Like, it really, honestly, like this is like a meme. It's a meme. Like, what are we doing here? Oh my God. Wow, a strongly worded letter. She actually said this.
Governor Walz a very strong letter today. We had been working on this letter. We got it out saying that he better support President Trump. He better support the men and women in law enforcement, because if he doesn't, we are. And that's what we're doing right now.
Oh, right. You better do it.
Are there any consequences in this letter?
Well, we'll see. This is fluid.
We'll see. Yeah. Okay. No.
See how Governor Walz responds. Let's see what he does based on this, based on what's happening right now. But this administration is going to support the citizens. We're going to support our great men and women in law enforcement. Rape, homicide.
What do you expect her to do? I mean, probably go out there and try to press charges on these people. I mean, that's the first thing that I would do. Apprehend them. Do everything that you can. National Guard, Army National Guard activated in Minnesota. Video frames raise hard questions. The gun agent said justified in the shooting in Minneapolis. Looks like it was already taken off him. before the shots were fired. Clearer frames show an agent pulling what appears to be a SIG P320 off of the scuffle and moving away from it, and then the shooting happens. If that's accurate, he was effectively unarmed at the moment that he was killed by ICE and Border Patrol agents. That's what it seems like to me, too. What's out there so far, he was a legal citizen, legally owned a gun, and crossed paths with an ICE during operation. Agents say he approached them armed and wouldn't comply. Yeah, I mean, again, like, I don't know how anybody thinks doing this is going to result in a positive outcome. Like, regardless of whether the agent was in the right or not for shooting him, the guy is still dead. And I think it's such a huge mistake that you don't have more people, and more people in general, just going out and saying, hey, stop going out and listening to the and not listening to the police and being aggressive towards them. What happened before? Let me see if I can pull this one up.
Letter's coercion, by the way. Okay, you guys ready? Let's do some reading comprehension. Let's go, guys. This guy's beyond parody. Yeah, he's become a caricature of a fucking villain from G.I. Joe at this point. Good one. Good one, Commander Cockroach. 40 likes with 170 viewers. Oop. Oh, you guys should like the stream. True. That's... I cannot read that. Why does it open in OBS's own fucking stupid gay little tab? Why can't it open in something else? Hello? Attorney General Pampani sent a warning letter, blah blah blah. I'll just read it to you guys. Governor Walz, the state of Minnesota has refused to enforce the law, and the consequences are heartbreaking. Americans are watching. Oh, are heartbreaking. Americans are watching politicians ignore federal immigration.
Just a drink. A martini, shaken, not stirred.
Remember to like the stream, babes.
Yo, hey, thank you so much for the $5, me split. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Just a drink. A martini, shaken, not stirred.
Remember to like the stream, babes.
True. Thanks for the double reminder. So true. The state of Minnesota has refused to enforce the law, and the consequences are heartbreaking. Americans are watching politicians ignore federal immigration law, criminals attack federal law enforcement, and rioters storm church services. I write to urge a change. In December 2025, the Department of Homeland Security launched Operation Metro Surge to protect Americans from the dangers presented by unchecked illegal immigration, including violent crime and drug trafficking. Since the beginning of this operation, law enforcement has put themselves in harm's way to arrest dangerous criminals, including members of notorious violent gangs. Criminal illegal aliens convicted of homicide, drug trafficking, sexual assault against a kid or child, rape with a weapon, and other horrific crimes are now off the streets because of Operation Metro Surge. Unfortunately, you and other Minnesota officials have refused to support the men and women risking their lives to protect Americans and uphold the rule of law. Because Minnesota, Minneapolis, and St. Paul has chosen to ignore federal immigration law by enacting sanctuary laws and policies, the federal agents led by U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement, ICE, and U.S. Customs and Border Protection, CBP, has operated alone. And politicians in your state are not just refusing to help these agents, they're putting federal agents in danger. Minneapolis Mayor Jacob Frey said, ICE, get the fuck out of Minneapolis. We do not want you here. You refer to our law enforcement as Trump's modern-day Gestapo. Minneapolis City Council member Aisha Chugtai stated that the city must be ready to act as the last line of defense for targeted communities. Minnesota Attorney General Keith, this all sounds very base to me. Minnesota Attorney General Keith Ellison has previously compared ICE enforcement to being under attack by the Nazis. Based. The results of your state's policies and politicians' anti-law enforcement rhetoric are a national tragedy. Violence against ICE officers and agents had increased approximately 1,300, blah, 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 okay. Oh, okay. Here we go. This is what they want. Ready? You and your office must restore the rule of law, support ICE officers, and bring an end to the chaos in Minnesota. Fortunately, there are common sense. This is probably the most clout Minnesota has ever gotten in such a long time. All right, like across American history. Like, who the fuck thinks of Minnesota as like the center for American change? I don't know, like all that much. Nobody, right? I don't know. Like, people usually think of Delaware, maybe California, you know, all these places, but nobody ever thinks of Minnesota. You know what, Minnesota? Now is your time to shine. First, share. It's a swing state, isn't it? Yeah, but that's not like I mean like history. You know, like American history, like prominent American history outside of election season. First, share all of Minnesota's records on Medicaid and food and nutrition service programs. Minnesota's Viking land. Shut the hell up. Okay, you know that's not what I'm referring to. Including the supplemental nutrition assistance program data with the federal government. Allowing the federal government to efficiently investigate fraud will save Minnesota's taxpayers money and ensure that Minnesota's welfare funds are being used to help those in need, not enrich fraudsters. Nice. Second, repeal the sanctuary policies that have led to so much crime and violence in your state. Removing criminal illegal aliens from Minnesota neighborhoods will save lives, and state and local officials should support this goal. Damn, who wrote this? Fucking Stephen Miller? All detention facilities in your state should cooperate fully with ICE, honor immigration detainers, and permit ICE to interview detainees in custody to determine immigration status. I urge you to reach an agreement with ICE that allows them to remove illegal aliens in custody of Minnesota's prisons and jails and avoids pushing these interactions into your streets. Okay, so just basically threatening them. Like, this is literally just trying to threaten them, right? Like, it's literally just going like, well, if you don't do what we ask, you're not gonna like what's coming, okay? You're not gonna like what's coming. Okay? We're gonna continue executing people until you do what we ask. That's what I'm hearing, okay? That's literally what I'm reading, alright? Third, allow the Civil Rights Division of the Department of Justice to access voter rolls to confirm that Minnesota's voter registration practices comply with federal law. Fulfilling this common sense request, I bet this is to acquire people's records and should as well. Yeah, 100%. I'm confident that these simple steps will help, and also to acquire like voter data on how to appeal to them and how to win Minnesota in the future, in future elections, right? Like what they want is not just information in regards to kidnapping people, but also information in trying to win future elections. 100%. Anyway, because again, Minnesota, swing state, right? The time has come for state and local officials. Please tell me Hutch is gonna have a good take, okay? For those of you guys who are gonna be watching Hutch, okay, please, for the love of God, okay, I better see Hutch with the most basest take. You know what? I'm already, you know what? I'm already blackpilled by Hutch, okay? All right, I don't need any more blackpilling, okay? The time has come for state and local officials in your state to change course. As the Chief Law Enforcement Officer in the United States, I am committed to enforcing... Chief Law Enforcement Officer Pam Bondi? Okay, dude. Attorney General? What, like, excuse me? Are you like the fucking police chief of the United States? What the fuck? I'm committed to enforcing federal immigration laws and keeping every American safe. Like, Pam Bondi is like Trump's worm, okay? Like, wherever Trump points at, she goes like a dog, all right? Like, and she just sniffs around, all right? Law enforcement, what a joke. Do not obstruct federal immigration enforcement. Do not allow rioters to take over the streets. Do not hinder. I request that you join us in that effort. This is not as much of a request as it is like threatening. It's like saying, I humbly request all slaves to join us at the table at gunpoint, of course. That's basically what's going on, okay? Yeah.
Okay, let me see here.
Walls wouldn't like comply. Like, even if he wanted to, like, let's just say like some absurd scenario where he wants to, okay? Even if he wanted to, he's not going to win re-election because the people who voted for him do not support this, okay? He has to vote, he has to do accordingly to his constituents. Wait, hold on. Minnesota is not a swing state?
Just a drink. A martini, shaken, not stirred.
FS Minnesota is not a swing state. We have only ever voted red for one president face with tears of joy.
Was it Reagan? It's probably Reagan. Thank you so much for the $10. I appreciate
Just
that.
a drink. A martini,
If that's
shaken,
true, then they're
not
trying to invalidate Minnesota
FS
votes.
Minnesota is not a swing state. We have only ever voted red for one president
Then-
face with tears of joy.
Then it's 100% to invalidate votes and say that, oh yeah, these votes are invalid, and then like turn it red, basically. That's what they're trying to do. Invalidate on purpose.
Yeah, right and wrong don't help if you're
They
dead.
voted
Yeah,
against
exactly.
Reagan? Oh, never mind.
Like, I think that regardless of whether you think this is justified or not, it's undeniable that the amount of people that are going around and being violent and aggressive towards the police are escalating these situations beyond what they need to be, and they're making them worse. And the longer that they allow that to happen, and they, like, that's treated as anything other than just something that immediately is breaking the law, then it's just going to keep getting worse. Recording equals aggressive? I'm not talking about recording. That's not what I was saying. So this is the guy. Yeah, no, he was there recording them. Obviously.
Yeah, I don't know your windows. No, you're just right inside. Alright, let's go around. Fuck off! This is a shit.
Oh my god. So, I mean, honestly, I think the officer handled that pretty well right there. You know, they just push the guy. They say, okay, that's fine. You want to record us. Just get off the street. I feel like that's very reasonable, honestly. That's extremely reasonable. There's nothing really wrong about that at all. But it seems like nobody here was being violent. Like, this isn't really a big problem at all. Anyone with a concealed carry knows you should always comply with police, announce your weapon, and de-escalate all potentially dangerous situations, at least in my state. The guy intentionally gets in the way and involved in an escalating situation. Absolutely retarded behavior from a concealed carrier. I think you're totally...
Bro. What do you mean, dude? They literally what? Because the initial interaction is aggressive, then that justifies any kind of resulting interaction? Crazy logic right there.
Right. I do. I think you're completely right. I think this is absolutely fucking retarded to do. And at the end of the day, if he had complied with the police, if he didn't have the gun with him, like, there is a much higher...
If he didn't have the gun with him, it's his fucking right. Okay? Hello? It's his fucking right. You absolute fucking inbred moron.
probability that he wouldn't have been shot. There is. Like, it's undeniable this is the case. And I feel like that nuance is constantly lost.
Hang out. Bye, No Samuel. Thank you so much for the art. I hope you draw more in the future. I really like your art.
Because you can easily come to the conclusion that maybe the way that they shot him was wrong. And based off of everything that I've seen, I'm pretty certain that they fucked up. I am. This seems pretty cut and dry that they fucked up. Now, I'm not, you know,
Okay.
we need to wait for the body cam, and that way we'll really know. But right now, it sure...
You don't need to wait for the body cam. And you don't need a fucking investigation, okay? Investigate away, but I think that the investigation will come at the same conclusion that I think it will come at, okay? But you are downplaying it, okay? You're delusional. You're downplaying it. No, you're not delusional. You're just malicious.
It seems like they fucked up. The only time, again, full-throated defense, like Karen's, the tiniest little details nitpicked of the innocence of running around playing pretend cop. This guy's been a cop for 8 years. The guy was Border Patrol agent for 8 years that shot him. This is really the fault of the Minnesota officials. I agree with you. I think that the main people who...
What? Okay. Hello? Did RFK Jr.'s fucking brainworm get into you too? The fuck is wrong with you? What do you mean?
Fault here is the Minnesota
There's no body
government.
cam.
I think
Sure.
the Minnesota government are...
What a stupid fucking inbred moron.
100% at fault here, and they're the ones that have allowed this to totally escalate and completely boil over out of control. I think that's absolutely what's happened. And I think also, to a lesser extent, who's the second most in fault? I think Trump is. Trump has let this happen. He's let every...
What are you talking about? Trump is #1 in fault. Okay? Followed up by agitators like you, okay? Who are trying to instigate a race war.
Everything escalate and get bad because he said, you know what? I'm not going to invoke the Insurrection Act. I'm not going to worry about this. And again, if you do that... Oh, this is the guy talking. Let me see this.
Approximately 9:03 a.m. this morning, Minneapolis police...
Comment Dan L? What do you mean? What did Dan do? What's this have to do with Dan? Oh, like, if it's, like, not going after people like Tectone and Asmongold, then yeah, that's a Dan L, of course. What's this? Oh shit. Here we go.
I heard Tectone got fucked on his court case. Is there any like actual documents published about that?
We didn't get to it this.
I wonder if Dan. I wonder if Dan is like.
Just a
Has my
drink.
brain roaches
A
based.
martini, shaken, not stirred.
Asmon has brain roaches.
He does have brain roaches. Thank you so much for $5. I appreciate that.
Just a drink. A martini, shaken, not stirred.
Asmon has brain roaches.
Yeah, I know that. Okay. When Dan covers the shooting or Asmongold or Tectone, do you think that Dan doesn't actually want to cover it? Like, or does he cover it with the same excitement that he covers Hassan stuff? Guaranteed, he is not excited to cover people like Asmongold and shit like that. Why? Because he's not an independent person, okay? His ass is hitched to the Destiny wagon, all right? He has to cover what Destiny covers because otherwise he's in trouble, all right? So that means covering shit that he does not like to cover, all right? Good fucking luck, okay? You're a slave, okay? You don't have your own audience. You're just borrowing power. You don't put any effort into creating your own audience. Stupid, dumbass.
Asmon has brain roaches.
Hey, thank you so much for the 2 Australian. I appreciate that, Maker.
Just a drink.
Stop!
Martini, shaken, not stirred.
Asmon has brain roaches.
Good meme.
Morning, because we were covering real news.
You didn't get
not
to it because
fucking
you're
drama.
a dick suck for every single person on that side of the political aisle, so you would never cover negative news about Tectone, to be clear. That's why you didn't cover it. But
Oh
is there any
my
actual
God.
document? That is true, because if anything would have been released about fucking iDubbbz or Hassan, you would have been covering that 24/7 guaranteed.
Why are you so fucking mad all of a sudden?
I'm
In
not.
fact,
I'm
I
just
brought it
saying
up.
it would have. Absolutely.
Oh. I think I just came in my pants.
Absolutely, you would have.
I'll
1
go
trillion%.
You're
So I'm just
wrong.
asking if the court docs came out. Apparently, he has a 10-year ban on owning firearms because, like, a 10-year protected one. That's a pretty fucking huge deal for a court case.
I
And it
don't-
seemed like he was
you're
confident about
farming-
winning.
You're farming he's rights for no reason. Not even a true thing.
Okay. Then
What?
chat will know. The chat will
wait, what?
rightfully
What do you
condemn
mean it's
my
not true?
farming, and they'll say,
No, they won't, because if I spent a second going over Tectone shit today, first off,
Dan is Jew first, Lib second. Okay, don't say that, okay? But you're kind of right.
I would have gotten shit on. Look at Dan not covering fucking ICE protest.
Okay, wait, no, that's just straight up not correct, okay? If Dan was Jew first, he would be worrying about Asmongold. Because Asmongold is one of the most anti-Semitic pieces of shit on the entire internet, okay? And you know that. He knows that. I know that. We all know that. All right. He's 100% super anti-Semitic because he's a graper, okay? That's why. So no, I don't think he's Jew first. I think he's himself first because Dan is a textbook narcissist, okay? Yes, I do think that multiple people are textbook narcissists in this space because they're content creators and they get too full of themselves.
And even when I go at fucking people like
Asmon and
Asmongold,
Asmon- yeah,
it's
of
fucking,
course.
it doesn't matter anyways. For you, it's the same shit anyways.
True.
You guys are, you know what you are? You're fucking terrorists. You want me to become you. I won't become you. You are a fucking island of no allies at all. It's like, oh, this guy tripped, better fucking shit on him. I want to make
Dan
sure.
just said it. He said island of no allies. So you are. You do cover it, maybe because you want to be friends with people. That's
Wrong.
fine, which is great. That's
Wrong.
fine. We support that.
Incorrect.
We support that.
Incorrect.
We're here for it, okay?
I'm here for it, Dan.
I'm here for it. We're here
I'm
for
an
it. You can't
ally
say
to
no.
see
We're
you.
here for it. I'm an ally to
Who?
to Dan's selective coverage on everything. I'm an
Two
ally
food
to
shops.
that.
Two food shops. Two food shops. Two food shops.
I've never.
Two food shops. Two food shops. Okay? You're... Dude. I don't know how it happens, okay? I don't know how it happens. I don't know how it happens, okay? But no matter how much I think that Destiny has forgotten about me, somehow he has just picked up every single talking point that I have said. All right? What do you mean hello? I was typing to Steven. Somehow he has picked up every talking point. Somehow he has just basically agreed with everything. Fucking based, okay? Just so you know, the selective coverage talking point did not come from Destiny, okay? This is not a Steven talking point. I'll tell you guys where it came from, okay? It came from the anti-fans first, I think, okay? But it's a completely true talking point, okay? Sometimes they can create talking points that are true out of hatred, okay? That's just something that happens. So it came from the anti-fans as a way to bring down Dan in a way, right? And then it made it to Lonerbox's orbit because Lonerbox's orbit watches the anti-fans, okay? And then from the Lonerbox orbit, it went to me, all right? It went to me. I adopted that. And then I started pushing that talking point out to DGG in general, okay? To DGG in general. And I started pushing that talking point on purpose to DGG in general.
Just a drink. A martini, shaken, not stirred.
Tell Steven I said hi.
Miss Blue, thank you so much for $5. Tell Steven I said hi.
Just a drink. A martini, shaken, not stirred.
Tell Steven I said hi.
Got you, Miss Blue. Okay, thank you. Probably not, but I do appreciate that. Just so you know, okay? And then, after I push it out to DG, then Destiny must have picked it up, okay? I think Destiny's birdies are also in contact with me. And I think I also chat with the birdies about things that are outside of the anti-fans, including Dan. And especially Dan's crimes, okay? Against humanity. So even Steven's birdies are anti-Dan now, okay? Because of me. You're welcome, by the way. All right? I turned them against Dan, okay? I've been trying to do this on purpose, okay? Because fuck Dan, that's why, all right? Because he's been trying to do the same thing to me. I have to engage in the same fucking tactics, okay? And because Steven takes the birdies way more seriously than anybody else, because they have never failed him, what I'd like to guess is that they probably repeated these same talking points to Steven, and that's why Steven is now repeating that same talking point, okay? So from his own audience, from me, and from the birdies, okay? Altogether, it has influenced Steven's opinion. Fucking absolute cinema, okay?
Never used a gas mine. I don't think that thing does anything.
Yeah, well. Insert.
Shut up!
What? Troll face?
Curious how Dan spent the stream doing protester interviews.
Don't you fucking, Mr. Mooten, don't you fucking start, motherfucker.
I was reading a message. Can I not read a message?
Did you not say today was a serious fucking day anyways?
Sorry.
Hold on.
Can I not read a message? Hello?
Oh, so now we're not allowed to read when Dan's here.
No, I can't read.
Can't read. Okay.
I'm being silenced.
Watch the Dan clip. Wait, what is this? Dan clip. Dan clip.
How do you even deal with those annoying Asmongold fans? I don't. Why would I spend my time wasting my time on them?
I think we've already seen this stuff.
Not worth my time.
He linked it earlier.
Yep, friendly.
It's fucked. Not good. It's not good. What do you want me to say?
No.
It's not good.
No, it's not good. It's fucking murder. And I'm an expert at murder, by the way. And that's just murder. It's not good. What do you want me to say? It's murder.
Wait, did you do 2 hours of job interviews today?
Hour and a half.
I wonder, who are you firing, Dan? Why are you firing them all the time? Why the fuck are you profiting off of stolen work and allegedly stolen work, okay? From the Compsci channel on Steven's Discord, huh? From what I've heard from Matsukin. Alright. Allegedly, okay?
For what?
Who are you
For
firing?
what? Help him. Help yourself out, Dan.
Why are you laughing?
I'm not. I didn't laugh.
No.
I was just.
What did you do the job interviews for? Tell him.
There's T-Rex parts in here, so I was just making T-Rex sounds.
to make an app that lets immigrants and other people that interact with the police be able to instantly record their interactions
you
with the
should call it
cops.
the camera app. Oh.
You should call it Tiny Chat. I'm sure this will be a successful project like Dan's other successful. I mean, if he's doing this, then good for him, okay? But look, okay, I have no confidence in Dan's ability to lead a company, just like the 10 other companies that he has failed, okay? Or maybe failed on purpose, who knows, to make himself a profit.
Well, you're a dipshit. You haven't thought about any fucking part about this at all.
Oh, because you need to put it in Spanish, so call it Camera app. Camera.
All right, whatever, bro.
Okay, you got you there, man.
If you guys don't know the lore, Tiny Chat was an app that Dan has developed before that eventually became a huge pedophile meeting app to search out minors on purpose to prey upon them. Okay? His app was used to prey on minors by actual predators. All right? It had to be shut down because of how heinous it was. Okay? That is the lore. That's what he's referencing. The dark lore.
He got you. He got you there.
He did not get it.
Just to keep it clear, when Dan goes after your orbiter spot, it's okay to talk to Destiny's personal friends to influence their and by proxy his opinion on Dan? Yes. Because ultimately, if Destiny changes... I would consider Destiny to be a person who is kind of unaffected by other people's opinions in the first place. If he changes his own opinion, and even if it's like introduced to him by other people around him, he probably have thought it through, and he probably have thought that it's something that he actually agrees with, in my opinion. Okay? So in my opinion, I don't even think the influencing thing even works. Okay? Like, I don't even think that works. It's like Inception. You have to introduce the idea to him, you know? In addition, yeah, of course I'm justified. Of course I'm justified in crazy tactics because Dan has done the same thing to me. In addition to spreading the document with my leaked NSFW audio in it, he has also instigated people against me all the time in DG chat. And he has called me a pedophile. And once you have gone there, then you can't go back. Okay, once you've gone there, then any kind of tactic is justified, in my opinion. Yeah, of course. Because once you've gone there, any tactic is justified. That's it. That's it. You're done. Yeah, that's it. If you want to go all gloves off, then why take off the gloves in the first place? I don't know. Don't complain about it, okay?
Ooh-wee.
Of course.
I have an idea. You could put it on a single thing on your phone, and you just push one button, and all of a sudden it starts a video pops up, and you can push a red button, and it'll start recording it directly to your phone's hard drive. For just $5.99 a month, you can sync it additionally
for free, but that's fine.
To an additional off-site backup in the cloud.
This is what I get. I'm trying to do actual praxis and fucking help people, and you two dipshits are doing nothing.
How did Dan escape prosecution? Because he's not doing it on purpose, obviously. Because obviously he's not trying to like fucking go after minors on purpose. It's just something that users have signed on to and then used his app to do maliciously. But it's because like he probably haven't thought it through or something. Essentially that's the case. But as far as I'm concerned, not enough people talk about it when it comes to Dan's history, especially when it comes to like calling me a PDF, because he's the last person on fucking planet Earth to call me a fucking PDF. Okay, he's the last person on planet Earth to call me a predator or imply that I'm a predator for fucking obvious reasons. Okay, go on.
But criticizing the man in the arena.
Okay, true.
That's what's actually happening.
Can I just ask one question? Were there any AI features? Because that's the important part.
No, Radiant was desperate to get in though.
I'm extracting, by the way. I'm leaving. Moon, what are you doing?
I'm fighting.
You better not be with a person.
No, arcs.
Oh, so arcs aren't people to you?
Do you see that?
What the
I got
fuck?
the fucking
What the fuck did you even...
now.
Jesus. Oh my god, that was a Final Fantasy VII Cloud moment. That was epic.
Got the smoovement.
Literal anime. Oh, I can't believe you said JJK slop. You're such a... He said all anime slop.
That's not true.
You literally said that. You said all anime is slop.
Well, that is true. That is true.
Oh, there
but
it is, and the truth comes
I
out.
was watching Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood last night.
Oh my god, that anime is for kids. They had to create a word that meant younger than shonen just to describe that fucking
I said
anime.
all shonen is slop, and then
Okay, I don't care anymore. Cool, good memes.
Received the report of a shooting involving federal law enforcement in the area of East 26th Street and Nicollet Avenue on the south side of the city. Officers arrived and found an adult male with multiple gunshot wounds when they arrived. Life-saving aid was being rendered, and he was transported by ambulance to Hennepin County Medical Center, where he was later pronounced deceased. Based on the information that we have, which is very limited, this is a 37-year-old white male who is a Minneapolis resident, and we believe he is an American citizen. Approximately 9:03.
It seems like he is. Trump must invoke the Insurrection Act now in the chaos and the deaths. Absolutely. Like, the sooner that happens, the sooner this stops. Whenever you have the governor of the state going up there and saying that law enforcement isn't law enforcement, if that's not an insurrection, I don't know what is. I don't. I feel like it's so obvious what he said is basically saying that, like, the federal government doesn't have authority over here. Like, if saying that the federal government doesn't have authority to enforce the law, if that's not the standard, then what the fuck is the standard? It's insane. Yeah, it's nuts. What does the Insurrection Act do? It allows Trump to use the. I guess Trump can nationalize can nationalize the National Guard in Minnesota.
I'd like to talk to you, Foodshops. You seem chill. Dude, I hang out in the server voice chat sometimes. You can catch me there. Okay. I do not accept private calls like that.
Without it, but it allows him to bring in the military to make sure that nothing goes wrong and to have them enforce the law. And I think that's what he needs to do. And people like Tim Walz need to get arrested for sedition. Like, I mean, really, it should have, as I said, I've predicted this entire thing. I have said every single thing that I thought was going to happen has happened. Every single thing. And you know what? Sure. I bet it's going to get worse. Trump's too much of a pussy? He is. Look at this. It's a shithole. I mean, this is something you see out of like a fucking third world country. Jesus. Look at all this. Oh my God. What the fuck are they doing?
Cutie? What?
What the fuck are they doing? This is insane.
Hey.
It's like these people don't even believe in laws. Really?
You don't even believe in laws. You literally said you don't believe in laws. Like, you literally said this. You literally said you don't believe in laws. Okay, dude. Good memes.
Like, they have no concept that you're not supposed to put out a massive barricade.
No concept.
This isn't protesting.
Laws?
Oh my God. They're building the case for the Insurrection Act. I completely disagree with you. I think that every single day that these people feel, every day these protests will get bigger until they reach a fever pitch and more violence occurs. Eventually, these people will start mass attacking ICE agents, and every day it will get closer and closer to that extreme. And the sooner that you do this, like, again, anybody could have predicted this. This isn't some kind of like fucking five-head prediction here. It's obvious this could have happened.
Is
that my mattress? It does look like my mattress, but it's not.
No. Okay, I will not Fed post.
Have some respect. This is the Wagarthan Citadel. I guess they could do that, right? I mean, Minnesota secedes from America. They got renamed to Wagartha or Somalia too, and then we can have Cuba be the 50th state instead.
Listen, we only recently got our channel warning removed, okay? All right, I'm not ready for another channel warning from YouTube, okay? I can't do it.
I think that makes sense. Smart. Maybe Venezuela. Yep. Greenland can be the 50th state? Oh, I forgot about Greenland. Oh. Yeah, I mean, you can't have a civil society when you have people running around building barricades in the street. This is insane. I don't know why anybody thinks this is anything other than just a total massive chaotic riot insurrection. That's clearly what it is. It's not even a question.
Chaotic riot insurrection. Do words even have meanings anymore? Or, like, did they even have meanings in the first place? Was it a delusion that we just told ourselves? Or...
Again. That's what it looks like to me. Jesus Christ.
Also, you know what? Since the Republicans got a taste of a little insurrection on January 6th, it's our turn, okay?
Jesus, they just letting them do whatever the fuck they want.
Okay, that's a good idea.
See, again, this is the state law. This is what I was talking about, how the state police allows this to happen. The national...
Oh, what about states' rights? I mean, shouldn't it be their right to mess up or something? What happened to states' rights?
Guard should be coming in here and just arresting these people and removing all of this stuff. They should be doing it immediately. So to the extent that you don't let that happen and you just let things get worse, it will escalate more and more and more. Because I want you guys to understand this. These people want to be fascists. They do. They're the ones that are blocking the roads. They're the ones that are trying to force their will on other people. They're the ones that are making stops to cars and asking them why they're driving around. These people are the ones that want to be authoritarian. They're not happy with the results of the election. The election didn't go the way they wanted, so now they think that they have the moral authority to ignore the election and go out and do whatever they want. We can't have a world like that. We can't. Now, in 4 years, they should vote Democrat again, and maybe things will be different. But it sure wasn't this time. And that's it. It's purely anti-American? It is. It's completely anti-American. They want to be fascism while calling us fascism? Exactly. They're being gaslit into becoming fascist, circle of life. Well, they're not being gaslit. This is always what they want. See, from their perspective, it's not fascism. It's the right way of doing things. They don't even view their version of fascism as fascism. They just do it themselves.
Good memes. Nice.
Martial law seriously to be declared in the state? Yeah, I know. Trump's plan is to let this fester and have more leftists come forward and create havoc before Trump turns Minnesota into first authoritarian state. I don't think that's working, man. I really don't. I think that it's creating the opposite effect, actually. I do. I think it's totally creating the opposite effect, and it's basically every single day that these people think that they're getting away with it, it's going to escalate and get worse and worse and worse. Uh-oh.
We aren't ice. We are not ice. We're not ice. We're not ice.
I'm showing my face. I'm not.
We've come to you. We're not ice.
Nothing says fighting against fascism than random stops where people have to be identified.
Yeah, so this is just what happens. Okay, good luck.
This is why are we letting this happen? This is nuts. Oh my God.
Yeah, they've been following us for over an hour. We're not ice. We're just letting them know, and they.
Not in an ice vehicle, right?
No. Right.
Right. Get in your truck. And get the fuck out. Why? Because you need to go. Confirmed ice. Get the fuck out.
Confirmed ice through.
What?
And they.
Not in an ice vehicle, right?
No. Right.
Right. Get in your truck. And get the fuck out. Why? Because you need to go. Confirmed ice. Get the fuck out.
Confirmed ice through.
Oh my
who?
God.
American citizens.
And then they say, "Show me your papers." Exactly. This is crazy. What's wrong with these people?
I mean, what's wrong with ice?
My God.
What the fuck?
And do you guys see what I'm saying?
I mean, is he about to execute someone? Like, hello? Who cares? Who gives a fuck?
Like, this is insane that this is happening.
We're not ice.
The people that you're abducting. Get out. Please go.
Because they've been following us.
Is he about to murder
for
someone?
over an hour.
Why are you guys here? What are you here? Where do you live? Where are you from?
The inmates are running the asylum? Yes, they are. They're also running traffic stops. They're running random traffic stops where they make people identify themselves and, you know, basically... No, we're fighting against fascism by making people stop at random stops by random people, and then they have to recite the party line to us.
Yeah, but this is what you want. You want mayhem. You want chaos, okay? If you're going to be sending in ICE to do crazy shit like this, and you're going to keep people guessing, then maybe ICE should wear identification badges. Maybe they shouldn't hide their face, okay? I'm just saying, all right? Yeah, this is the ultimate result, because nobody knows who the fuck ICE is. Of course. Of course people are going to be, like, suspecting other people, like, to be ICE and shit like that. You've not really given them a choice, right? Of course they're going to be finding out, like, who the fuck is ICE and who isn't ICE, right? Of course.
Or if they don't, we'll detain them. This is how we fight against fascism. Because we hate Nazis.
This is public property. What are you talking about?
Yep.
Did you come in that car right there?
Yeah, this truck. And they're saying we're popping up in an ICE database.
Well, then you're in it. We're not.
What's the database?
There's a random database that they've invented, and we've decided that you're part of it.
Fuck out of here, though. We look like ICE now. No ice. Nothing on me. Prove it. We're not ICE.
Prove it. You have to prove to them that you're not ICE. I don't know how this is being allowed. And again, this is all like, I mean, this is all state government. Like the state government needs to be going out and arresting these people for doing false traffic stops as civilians and then basically unlawful detainment. Like, you can't do this to people.
In the land of, if laws are not being enforced in the city, then citizens will take it upon themselves to enforce the law. ICE is not enforcing the law. Who knows what the fuck the cops are doing, okay? So of course this is gonna happen. Of course. You can't expect people to try to enforce the law themselves, okay? You can't expect people to not do that when you have ICE going around, okay? It's impossible. So you need to take ICE out of Minnesota. It's as simple as shrimple us, okay? You take ICE out of Minnesota, all of this can stop instantly, okay? You take ICE out of Minnesota, this doesn't have to be a problem anymore, okay? Because guess what? Once ICE is gone, once Trump gets them out, if he ever de-escalates the situation, what happens? We won't have situations like this anymore. Simple as, right? Whose fault is it? It's yours.
It's crazy what's going on.
No.
How do you prove a negative? Listen, like, do you really think that this guy's thought that far?
Where are the weapons? Let me see your IDs of where you live.
No, they've been following us. That's why we got out and confronted them.
Great.
Do you think that's okay?
Yeah, 100%.
Okay.
Yep.
I'm curious about
our neighborhood. Yes, 100%. Yeah.
I'm curious, I guess, how you get into an ICE database.
Man. They are the Gestapo. I told you guys. I said over and over and over. This is absolutely what they're doing. Tan gun, case closed, he was disarmed. Ah, this is a much better image. Look at this image here.
If people stop illegally protesting and attacking government agents, this wouldn't happen either, Lamau. Okay, I can't tell whether or not you're being, like, facetious or not, okay? You're being sarcastic, right? I'm assuming.
That's a really good version of it. There you go. The Battle of Minneapolis? Oh my god. What is this? Uh-oh. All this is totally self-inflicted. Completely self-inflicted. None of this had to happen. Look at this. Jesus. These guys are anarchists? Yeah, they're insurrectionist anarchists. I agree with you.
In Washington, government funding is about to run out.
Bro, it's like Hitler is doing genocide, and he is like doing ghettos, okay? And you're like filming the Jews in the ghetto fighting each other for food. And you're like, this doesn't have to happen. If you guys would only obey the Nazis, if you guys would only obey the Gestapo, if you guys would only do that, then this wouldn't have happened, okay? Just be the good little Jews you are and stop fighting amongst each other, right? Like, this is essentially what's going on, okay? How could you blame the Jews from fighting one another in the fucking ghettos over food if the Gestapo is the one inflicting the condition in the first place, right? I'm just saying.
Next week, senators are supposed to come back to the Hill next week to vote on government funding, which includes funding for the Department of Homeland Security, for ICE, for FEMA, for a lot of different things to help people across the country. The House just voted on it. The Senate has to pick it up. And there are senators already calling on blocking that funding. basically holding it hostage in a way in order to get reforms to the Department of Homeland Security.
The reason why the Democrats are going all in on this is because this type of immigration is the way that they win elections. Is that they overload the country with illegals. They make the illegals basically reliant on government subsidies and government handouts, and then they hold those handouts hostage every election to make sure these illegals and immigrants continue voting for them. This is the reason.
How fast do you think it takes for an undocumented immigrant to become someone who is able to vote in the election? I would like to hear this answer. I'll give you an answer, okay? None. It's impossible. It's almost impossible. With how slow the citizenship process is, there's absolutely no way in time, in any given sense of the way, there's absolutely no fucking way for that to even happen. For that to even remotely happen, okay? This perception that illegals are being put into the country to turn into citizens or being turned into people who can vote is delusional, okay? Every single state has voter ID, okay? I'm not even talking about voter ID laws. I'm talking about, like, identifying and making sure that there's no fraud, okay? Every state has that, okay? In addition to that, how easy do you think it is to fake a vote, okay? I'll tell you what. The people who have been caught faking votes are Republicans, okay? Not Democrats, Republicans. Second of all. Third of all right? Wow, it must be such a genius idea to just simply try to get illegal immigrants into the country to vote for us. That must be such an efficient and genius idea. Oh wait, it's not efficient? It's not genius? Oh my word. Wow, that's crazy, isn't it?
Why this is a life or death for them. They will go as far as they possibly can to keep these people in the country and to maintain keeping them citizens. That's exactly it. Just like in Europe, that's a stretch. It's not a stretch. It's obvious.
And a senior Democratic congressional source just told our chat program that this shooting and what we're seeing right now on the screen
just told our chat program? Okay, Fox News.
Is a, quote, new wild card and could make it challenging to fund the government next week, fund the Department of Homeland Security. So a lot of different things are at play right now, and we're watching all of it. We're also waiting for this press conference to take place in the next half hour here. We're waiting for the Border Patrol Chief, Bavino. He's going to take the microphone.
People say both sides are the same, but if you look at the barricades and riots in Minneapolis right now or across the country, it's clear this level of chaos is coming from the left, and it isn't happening on the right. It's insane. Well, one of the reasons why it's not happening on the right is because the right's getting what they want. That's one big reason, is that they're basically able to do whatever the fuck they want because they run the government. So there's no reason.
He's right. He's right. Probably not in the way that he thinks it is, okay? All right? It's true, because guess what? When the conservatives don't get what they want, they cause an insurrection, January 6th.
For right-wing people to protest because they're winning. So that's it. January 6th? Yeah, January 6th wasn't good, and we used to have, like, those Tea Party crash outs in, like, 2009, so that was, like, after Obama won, but they were, like, infinitely less violent than this was. I mean, I do agree with you that left-wing people are... I think that they're way more violent in the way that they protest, and they're way more vitriolic about it. It's, like, insane how violent and aggressive they are.
Phone here.
And the reason why is because I think that a lot of these left-wing people, the emotional messaging that I think activates them is a lot more visceral. It's a lot more serious. Like, for example, you know, they're being told that, you know, they're fighting against Hitler, the Gestapo. Trump is going to put all of these babies in cages, and he's like this like pedophile that's like running a pedophile network, and he's doing all of this so nobody is going to arrest him for it. Like, if you believe all of this, if you think all of this is true, wouldn't you be out on the street trying to burn shit down and fight against the government? I think a lot of people would be. If you really thought that Hitler was coming back and that's happening, I think that that would activate a lot of people. So whenever you understand it from their perspective, this is where I always say this, right? A lot of people don't know this, but I'm the most empathetic streamer on the platform. I can see where...
What? Whoa. New Asmongold lore, he's an empath, guys. Guys. Asmongold just said he's an empath, okay? Guys. Just like Mr. Girl, okay? Just like Mr. Girl said, okay? Just like Mr. Girl said, You know, he's an empath. Okay, he's an empath, guys. He's an empath.
They're coming from. And if
He's
I
an
put
empath,
myself in
guys.
their shoes and I
Mr.
see it from the way that they
empath.
see it, their reaction makes sense. It does. It makes perfect sense if you think about the way that they've been educated, the way
Jesus.
that they've been propagandized
He is
to, the way
delusional,
that they
actually,
consume
maybe.
media, and the way that they
Oh my
think.
God.
And if you go through all that, it totally makes sense why they're doing this. That's the reason why you can't, you're not going to be able to reason with.
Oh, people say that I'm empathetic and nice and understanding, okay? But I would never ever claim to be somebody who's kind of like that. Just mean because I don't think I am. I just don't think I am, okay? Because people have like glazed me before on like, oh well, you seem to take a lot of it on the chin. You seem to be very casual about a bunch of stuff. You seem to not take a lot of things seriously. You're very stoic, whatever, right? But like, I wouldn't even claim that. I wouldn't even claim that at all because I think that perfection and improvement is something you should continuously strive towards, and it's never something where you should take for granted and then just accept that as the end game. I think it's a practice, and you need to keep on doing it. Goodness is a practice that you need to continue striving for, not an end goal that you simply reach and then stop. God of War, okay?
These people, they're already past that point. As people live in a different timeline. Yes, exactly. Like, and that's the issue, is that other people think that this is a conclusion that's, you know, like you can just talk somebody out of. You can't talk somebody out of this conclusion.
Multiple gunshot wounds.
That's it.
Life-saving aid was delivered to him. He was taken to the Hennepin County Medical Center, but he was pronounced.
People who say that they're empaths or say that they are the most empathetic are people who I think that they no longer need any more developing. They no longer need any more like practice on being more empathetic or anything. Because at that point, I just think that you think that you have reached the end point. And to me, at the very least, that is the most unempathetic thing. So when Mr. Girls says that he is like an empath or something, you are, to me, the least empathetic. Because you let hubris define yourself in such a way where you think that you no longer have any more room to improve. But that's not true. There's always room to improve. There's always room to become a better person. There's always room to try to strive to become your perfect self, okay? Because the thing about imperfection is that it's perfect. But the thing about perfection is that it's imperfect. The more perfect you try to be, the more imperfect you will become. And the more imperfect you are, the more human you are, right?
Dead. The Department of Homeland Security is saying it was...
Yeah, the military is dumping gas on fire. Yeah, I don't know why Trump hasn't sent them in yet. I don't know either. U.S. Attorney Pam Bondi has stated that agents with several federal agencies, including DEA, ATF, and FBI, are being deployed to back up Homeland Security in Minneapolis. That's great, but you need to bring in the military. It has to be even more. And a person, I actually think that people like Tim Walz are directly responsible for all of this violence and this crime. Because he's the one that's in control of the police. He's the one that's telling them not to arrest these people that are making barricades. He's the one who's telling people that, you know, it's okay to go out and protest and, you know, be peaceful, but, you know, you're not talking about impeding investigations. He's the one saying that ICE are not law enforcement. This is insane to even do that.
Continue to do everything in our power to keep our neighbors safe and to stand up for our immigrant communities. Most of the protests that we've seen have remained peaceful. Let's keep it that way.
Really?
Let's not counter Donald Trump's chaos with our own version of chaos here. I understand that.
What do you call these barricades?
I'm angry. I understand that people are experiencing trauma. It makes sense. Our communities have been placed on the very front line, and this has been ongoing now for weeks. It must end. Remember, it's only our city that will suffer if there is damage or destruction that is done.
He's right.
This guy's winning re-election.
To the victim's family and friends.
Then criminalize the people that are destroying stuff.
Our love goes out to you. I know that there is nothing that I can say right now that will ease the pain. But I hope you know that Minneapolis cares deeply for you. There are 435,000 residents that will do everything possible to stand with you. With that, I'll turn it over to Chief O'Hara, who can give
Why is ICE not doing this in Texas? Because nobody wants to live there. You're welcome.
more of an update on the plans for tonight.
Oh boy, here we go. Let's hear it.
Thank you, Mayor. Good evening. I'm going to provide a brief update on the events today and our plans to maintain order in the city. I recognize that this is a volatile and emotional situation.
Should I curfew
and our
or something?
focus remains, as it always has been, on de-escalation slowing things down and maintaining peace and order.
They're
in this
escalating
city.
it by not going after people.
The situation is stable right now, and it is peaceful, and we intend to keep it that way.
What do you mean?
After our last press update,
Didn't they bite somebody's
additional
finger
residents and demonstrators gathered today, and the situation deteriorated.
Hello?
Local and
Sorry,
state law
in a video
enforcement
game.
officers were surrounded on multiple sides by a mix of protesters and also agitators who engaged in unlawful acts. Individuals began erecting barricades, throwing glass bottles, ice chunks, and at least 2 separate fires were started in the immediate vicinity.
What the fuck are they doing?
Minneapolis police had to escort firefighters so that they could safely extinguish the
It's one thing to say I have empathy, but it's a whole other thing to call yourself an empath. Well, but you have to keep in mind, it's not just calling himself an empath or saying that he has empathy, okay? Saying that you have empathy is fine, all right? Unless the context changes somehow, okay? But keep in mind that Asmongold said, I am the most empathetic streamer on the platform. He said that I'm the most empathetic. Like, unironically, he said that. With no shame.
those fires. The number one priority of our police officers is to protect life and maintain public safety for all people in our community. And so given the volatility and rising public safety risks for residents, for demonstrators, and police officers, state and local law enforcement did deploy less lethal and gas munitions at that assembly in order to allow for a safe egress of law enforcement and to prevent further violence and damage. We do everything that we possibly can to de-escalate whenever possible. And the actions that were taken today were in response to a dangerous and escalating situation that already had multiple confrontations. The gathering at the scene now is peaceful, and we need everyone to respect the lives and property of all people in our community. In order to maintain that peace, we have established a vehicle exclusionary zone in the affected area. That zone has allowed traffic to be safely managed and has significantly reduced the risk of escalation, ensuring access for emergency vehicles, for residents of the area, and for lawful, peaceful demonstrations. This zone will be maintained by uniformed police officers of the Minneapolis Police Department, working alongside members of the Minnesota National Guard. National Guard members will be wearing fluorescent yellow safety traffic vests and will be working alongside uniformed Minneapolis police. In addition to the Minnesota State Patrol and Hennepin County Sheriff's Office that assisted at the scene, the St. Paul Police, Ramsey County Sheriff's Office, and numerous Hennepin County suburban police departments are assisting with answering 911 calls.
You know, maybe the police are the only people, ironically enough, who can combat ICE, okay? Maybe the police and National Guard are the only people. I think that if you're going to begin pitting them against one another, you got to start now, okay? You can't wait until later to pit them against one another. You have to start now. You have to start the agitation now, okay? You have to, okay? The reason for this is because otherwise, when the time comes, they're not going to be on your side, okay?
In the city of Minneapolis today.
I'll not elaborate.
The loss of human life, yet again, is a tragedy. We pray all people can recognize that. And we extend our condolences, as the mayor has said, to the loved ones of the deceased. To the people of our city, we understand that the pressure has been building for weeks. We understand the hurt and frustration that this causes. But again, if you choose to come out, if you choose to demonstrate,
don't set shit on
peacefully
fire.
assemble, do so lawfully. And understand that the men and women in this uniform standing here tonight are committed first and foremost to protecting the lives of every single person in this city. We will continue to monitor the monitor the situation and provide updates as needed.
Monitoring the situation, oh boy.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Chief, for your strong leadership during this crisis. I'm joined today by Senator Smith, as well as Representatives McCollum and Morrison, and joining us in a statement are Representatives Craig and Omar. Our message is really clear and straightforward. We need ICE out of Minnesota. They are not making us more safe. As the tragic
you guys just don't want to
this
follow the
morning,
federal law.
and people saw it viscerally on that video, shows us they are making us less safe. With 3,000 agents, which of course includes border control,
sounds like it needs to be
outnumbering the sworn police officers in Minneapolis and St. Paul by 3 to 1, and even larger than the 10 metropolitan police departments. This is completely out of whack, completely out of balance. And now 3 people have been shot, 2 resulting in death.
So far.
1.
ICE literally does not want to work with the police because they want to get away with breaking laws, okay? It's as simple as. It's not hard to understand, okay? ICE does not want to work with police. ICE does not want to work with police, okay? For a stated reason, right?
Renee Good, mother of 3, and now Alex Preddy, a 37-year-old Minneapolis man, a citizen, also a nurse. They both have families that love them very much.
Yeah, it's sad.
This city has been under siege.
Hang on a moment.
And I want to make something clear. As the mayor and the police chief are doing their job for this city, it's not just the cities. It's not just Minneapolis and St. Paul, as you'll hear from the members of Congress. It is
Let's go to Christy Noem real quick. Christy Noem is speaking.
In and abducted.
I actually forgot Steve was there.
It is small
I forgot I was watching his
all
stream.
across our state, rural areas.
Whose criminal history included domestic assault with intentionally inflicting bodily harm.
Yeah, here, let me see if I can go back to the first one, then I'll come back to this.
Without a valid license.
I forgot he was there.
The individual approached U.S. Border Patrol officers with a 9mm semi-automatic.
I just want to go through. I don't want to get.
Administration to get ICE out of our towns, off of our streets. It will make us more safe. We, as a congressional.
I'll get to the other one after this.
Strongly opposed the ICE.
Has Gavin Newsom deployed the National Guard yet?
Funding this week. We opposed it this summer when our
Sorry about the volume. This is the best I can do.
Tripled the budget, $75 billion. It is now more than the FBI. They reduced the training from 5 months to 47 days.
The guy that did the shooting was there for 8 years.
These are the results.
What? No comment on that, Asmongold? The training duration?
Wait, I thought the guy was there 8 years.
Transparent investigation. We have done this before in Minnesota, coordinating with local and state and federal law enforcement.
I think
and if they're not going to do it, then they need to get out of the way and allow our very professional Bureau of Criminal Apprehension to conduct the investigation into
No, it's 100%.
And finally, we call on our Republican colleagues
to
stand with us. I know they know what's going on here because it's happening in their own districts. We have, of course, these shootings, but it is a lot more than that. They know that something's wrong when a Hmong elder is pulled out of a house in his underwear and slippers.
Because he was living with 2 sexual predators.
About an hour later, they got the wrong guy, and in fact, the guy they were looking for is actually in jail. Or a 2-year-old, a case my office.
Asmongold disproven in real time. Classic. There's a certified Asmongold moment.
It's worked on.
Yeah.
In addition to hundreds more.
If that's the one I'm thinking of.
Taken with her dad and then put
he
on
wouldn't
a plane
identify
to
himself.
Texas when her mom is desperately trying to get her.
Good memes, okay?
We got
Good
her
memes.
back. But none of this should be happening. None of it. So we call on our Republican colleagues to join us because we have warned this administration. I have personally warned them that there would be more deaths, that more of this would happen.
Oh, it's going to get way worse.
They're not listening. So we ask people around the country to talk to their Republican representatives to make clear that this is.
He's so edgy. He's so cool, guys. Guys, he's so tough. Asmongold is so tough, guys. He's doing what needs to be done. Okay? He's doing what needs to be. He's so cool. Oh my god. Asmongold is just like so cool. He's so cool, dude. He's so fucking awesome. He's so cool. Yeah. Hell yeah. Alright? He's so tough. Alright? He's such a badass, you know? When he doubles down on cruel things done to the American people, he's so cool. He's so cool for doing that. He's so awesome.
They're nervous. You see how they're nervous?
That is all.
Yeah.
This has got to stop. And with that, I turn it over to my colleague, Senator Smith.
Yeah, they're afraid, man. Good.
Good afternoon, everyone. So today, federal agents beat and then shot multiple times and killed 37-year-old Alex Jeffrey Preddy, a U.S. citizen, a Minneapolis resident, and a VA nurse. Eyewitness video shows, once again, reckless, violent, and dangerous federal agents taking the life of a Minnesotan.
Really? Wow.
Rather
what about the
than
guy that was
following
resisting
standard
arrest
law
with a gun?
enforcement practice, which is focused on public safety and de-escalation, they have killed another person. And the Trump administration has already called Alex Preddy a domestic terrorist.
Yeah.
He was a nurse.
You can't be both.
We send our heartfelt.
It's impossible.
What? Huh?
To his family and to his friends.
Emotional appeals.
All Americans should be outraged at this
What the
unaccountable,
fuck? What is
violent
he
federal
talking
force
about?
which is operating
At
with
this point?
impunity in our city.
He's lost it.
And you
He's
need to
actually
know,
lost it.
America, that if it
He's
can
lost
happen
it.
here, it can happen in your community too.
I sure hope so.
So we gather here to say, first,
He's so
I want to
tough.
say to the president,
He's so cool.
you must
Epic.
stop Operation Metro Surge immediately and send these ICE agents home so our communities can be safe.
Right. No.
Second,
no.
it is essential that trusted, impartial state investigators at the BCA are allowed to fully investigate what happened here today. Third, I urge my neighbors to express our grief and outrage at this killing.
Are they going to say?
Invasion of our cities peacefully and with the love that we showed yesterday when so many thousands of us showed up in support of our community.
Yeah.
Oh no. Sorry, real quick. Real quick meme. What is this, 1 hour? Oh my god.
About that. He seemed very, very kind. And he also really wanted me to talk to you, so.
Oh, yeah.
I think Dan wants you to have friends, man.
Yeah.
I think
maybe,
I think it's time to let go of all this hatred you have in your heart, man. I think it's time to give streamers a chance.
Well,
I think you should talk to Kai
We
Cenat.
have to hope that the next natural disaster isn't in a conservative state and we'll be okay. So.
You're such a.
Wait, is Kai Cenat?
Jesus. In a year or two, Asmon's gonna look back and he'll, Dan's such a piece of shit, dude. I'm telling you, dude. Like people are going after me. At least I'm like transparent with you guys. Like at least I'm transparent. At least I'm transparent with how I'm fighting back against Dan. Dan is not transparent about any of his tactics, okay? I'm telling you guys literally what I'm doing, okay? In the background, okay? The gay ops, all right? To influence public opinion and to influence Destiny himself, okay? But Dan, okay, he has better access to Destiny and he has way more resources, okay?
It probably wasn't his first time, right? Did he really do it on camera? First.
4chaner? You ever use 4chan?
This is just the surface.
I don't believe you.
The very few, a little bit on the VG boards,
I know
but that was a cancerous.
It's crazy how things change. You definitely are a /polar, man. You are.
No, definitely not. But like I've hung out like in peripheral communities and stuff, so.
Yeah, like what, Reddit?
Sometimes just abouts on the internet, you know.
Okay.
4chan was too spooky for me though. That's a scary place.
Well, good meme.
Yeah.
And finally, we must have our Republicans in Congress. They must join with us to condemn this violent and unfettered violent abuse of power and to stop it. And they can do that by refusing to fund this agency so long as it continues to kill and terrorize Americans.
If that happens, you just use the military.
And I will be working on in the United States Senate.
Oh.
And I just want to close by thanking so much the local law enforcement and fire departments, not only here in Minneapolis, but all across the state that have been doing everything that they could, everything that you can to keep our cities safe. I once worked in City Hall, and I know what it's like, and I am so grateful for their relentless work to keep our communities safe. Representative McCollum.
Oh, here we go. Let's have another swamp hag come out and lecture us about why it's okay to interfere with federal investigations. That's great.
Jesus Christ, dude. Are you okay?
Lovely.
Oh my god.
So I'm going to take a slightly different tact. You know, today, this morning,
You
Saturday,
okay, my brother?
we lost
Damn.
another life. And
Yep.
it didn't
You have a lot of hatred towards women.
You should have told him to
To all
stop.
the protesters who have been out there peacefully protesting, who have been harmed and injured, it shouldn't be happening to you either.
Right.
But I want to take a second, as Senator Smith was, just to reflect on the community. St. Paul stands with you, Minneapolis. The East and West Metro, we're united.
I can't
as
turn
well
it up,
as
sorry.
all Minnesotans. My phones have been ringing off the hook from frustrated members of communities that are asking me to talk to their Republican members of Congress to do something about the escalation of
They're
chaos
scared,
and violence
man.
that has been caused by the presence of the Department of Homeland Security.
Starting to think Asmon might have a problem with women? Yeah, no kidding. Sexual frustration, maybe?
I think that they're starting to realize it's not stopping.
Representative Omar and Craig had an opportunity to show with our votes on the House floor just this week how disappointed we are that the president refuses to listen. Oh, well, we're more
Listen, they don't want him to listen. They want him to obey.
Outraged. Part of the bill that was on the floor was to provide
That's
more
epic.
body cameras for ICE.
Smart.
Well, they have them already in the thousands, and they refuse to wear them. So Secretary
I didn't even know about that, okay?
I thought this was Border Patrol.
have your officers suit up and put on their body cameras.
I agree with
just
her.
like our law enforcement.
She's right. All of them should have body
Our law
cameras.
enforcement here,
She's right.
we appreciate you, especially those of you who've been working the extra
Every
shifts.
single one should have a body
To
camera.
the school boards, to the community service volunteers, everybody out there in this community, you make us so proud to represent you in the United States Congress. We hold our head up high with how Minnesota is reacting to this.
What?
We celebrate 250 years of this United States of America. And I'll close with quoting Benjamin Franklin.
Oh, God, here we go.
He came out of the Constitutional Convention and he said,
There is absolutely no way Emerald doesn't have, does not have, anything in her closet, okay? Any skeletons in her closet. I refuse to believe it, okay? There's absolutely no way, okay? I have no idea. I just have no idea, okay? There's, like, after all this time, you're really telling me that Emerald has no skeletons, okay? She can't be this pure. Come on. She can't be this pure. I refuse to believe it.
it's a republic if you can keep it. Well, we're showing we want to keep it a republic with peaceful protesting.
Like, how do you, okay, so everybody else in the entire organization have had insane drama, okay? Like the most unhinged sex crime infused drama, but you're telling me that Asmongold and Emerald have nothing? Just Asmongold and Emerald, the two left, who just happen to be the most popular ones as well, who has the most sway over other people. You're telling me that they have nothing? That they're not guilty for anything? After every one of their associates and friends have been outed. Every one of them. I don't believe it. I don't believe it. There's something fishy going on, okay? I think there's something fishy going on. I think there's something fishy going on, okay? Birds of a feather flock together, okay? Especially for this long and this close, all right? Especially for this long and this close.
How does that
Stay
make sense?
calm. Be safe.
The Republic
Take care
decided
of
to get
one
rid of
another.
them.
And when you see a National Guards person
She wants it
out
to be a
there trying
confederacy.
lead one of our police officers, know that they're there to protect you. So please respect everyone out there trying to keep us safe. And with that, I'd like to welcome up my colleague from the West Metro.
Oh, great. This is the fourth and final Karen. Let's hear
The
it.
day after tens of thousands of Minnesota.
Wait, dude. Nobody ever says this whenever there's like the fifth white man like appearing at the fucking podium, all right? Nobody complains when like the fifth like John Smith appears at the fucking podium, okay? Nobody talks about that, all right? But the moment that it's 3 white women in a row, you have an issue with that? Do you know how many old white men appear in a row as if like they're having a train run on them by a bunch of red pillars? Hello? Excuse me? Do you know how gay that is?
Showed the world
Well, you don't want to look at women? I think you might be homo.
how to stand up peacefully against this administration's cruelty, lawlessness, and unacceptable occupation, and demand that ICE leave our state and end this federal invasion. The world is watching yet again as one of Donald Trump's federal agents have shot and killed another United States citizen.
That's right. Very
fitting
in broad
music.
daylight in the middle of the
How could this have happened?
First, we lost Renee Nicole Good, and now Alex Jeffrey Preddy, a 37-year-old man, a Minnesotan.
It's all their fault, too.
Nurse,
It is. All they had to do was cooperate with the federal government.
as Minnesotans.
That's all they had to do.
You just
And I
have to
do want
comply,
pause and
obey.
offer my deepest sympathy and profound condolences.
But they want to fight and sacrifice their...
Misaki, are you around to play Ark with me on stream? I did say that I was gonna go to sleep after the stream, but I'd never clarified when the stream was gonna end, okay?
Their own people.
I am so
They
sorry
don't care
for
about
your
them.
unimaginable loss.
This is all just
And we are
emotional
once
messaging.
again
It's
now
manipulation.
being asked to deny what we saw with our own eyes.
They need to release the body
we
cams.
watched the videos of a
Release the body cams for the body cams that they're for the body cams that they literally just said they aren't wearing. What do you mean? Release the body cams of what? They literally just said they don't wear body cams. Okay, are you stupid? What's with your short-term memory? Okay, you have the memory of a goldfish. Okay, you're nutritionally deficient. Okay, you're also chromosomally and mitochondrially deficient. Okay, you have a prion disease in your brain. Okay. There is something wrong with you, fundamentally, as a human being, that is messing with your empathy center, all right? You are sociopathic, psychopathic, and all the above, All right.
Masked federal agent shooting Alex in the back multiple times while he was pinned down by more than 6 other masked federal agents.
Goldfish? Yeah.
And once again, DHS has come out with a predetermined narrative that contradicts everything we saw with our own eyes.
Okay.
2 37-year-old Minnesotans are now dead.
They're both 37?
And a nurse. For what? We cannot lose any more lives. We need
Sounds like a genocide of 37. Careful, Asmongold. You're
investigation led by our BCA.
Or maybe you're already there.
And ICE and Border Patrol need to halt all operations in the state and leave immediately.
Oh.
And Congress cannot be complicit in facilitating.
Isn't it crazy they're trying to advocate for this?
And federal occupation of our cities.
Oh my God.
We are standing here as a united front today, pleading for our Republican colleagues who control the Congress and who took the same oath to defend the Constitution and uphold the rule of law that we did, to stand up and stop this. Put your state and your country first. Put it ahead of your loyalty to this president.
Your stinky breath.
Minnesotans are in agony, watching their communities terrorized and families torn
Put the loyalty of the state above the loyalty of the country?
CBP agents are traumatizing our communities, violating Minnesotans' constitutional rights, unlawfully detaining and arresting United States citizens.
Bro, if you got all of ICE to participate in fucking physical exercise, all right, tell them to run a fucking 8-minute mile. I guarantee you, 75% of the ICE workforce will be cut tomorrow. These fucking beach whales are going around shooting our loyal citizens. Need to be arrested. They should never hold a job ever again, forever unemployed.
Racially profiling people, forcing schools, restaurants, and businesses to close, and people are dying at the hands of these federal agents. It has to stop now before anyone else.
I hope you're okay with the $50,000 sign-on bonus.
I return it
okay,
to
go on.
the mayor.
Okay, he's gonna wrap it up.
I'll just point out again the difference between tens of thousands of people just yesterday peacefully protesting.
What about the difference between like your state and Florida?
For their neighbors.
How'd that happen?
Injuries, no damage to property. That is how Minnesota and Minneapolis shows up versus what we saw again this morning. That is what is causing chaos on our streets. Those actions that we saw on video, and you can believe your own eyes. With that, we'll open it to questions.
Senator Klobuchar, are you willing to use every lever of power at your disposal as a member of the minority party to stop what is happening here, up to and including a government shutdown?
Right now, we are focused on getting ICE out of the state. And of course, we will use every lever that we have.
This is why you got to go after them as hard as you can.
That
is because they'll do the same
Trump,
thing.
Runs the White House. And sadly, because to date we have not seen the Republican members of Congress standing up, he also seems to run the Congress. But the point here is that there are many changes that we could make. You know, why aren't we helping fund local law enforcement instead of what they did with this bill last summer, where they tripled the budget? And why aren't they pledging to have a full investigation?
So they can just sit around and do nothing?
I have a lot of respect for our local law enforcement here, and I appreciated the words of some of my colleagues who talked about the fact that people have to differentiate here with what they're doing on the front line every single day. So there are many things we could do. Budgets are a value choice, and that's what we're asking our Republican colleagues to do. I work across the aisle all the time. I work with them, and I know that many of them understand that what's going on right now is wrong. And so the way to get to a higher ground, honestly, is to get them to get ICE out of our state right now, to call the president, to speak out as we have been doing day after day after day, and to remember these little kids who are afraid to go to school, and to remember the people who are legal citizens who are wrestled to the ground, yelling, "I am born here. I was born here."
For no reason whatsoever.
These two that we've lost. And I hope that's
completely
that
random.
Take home and that the
trying to twist your emotions. I know it's what they do.
As they look at how they can get this.
They want to indoctrinate their kids and then use their kids as emotional weapons.
Good memes.
Best case scenario with the shooting.
So there's two forms of request that we have been asking for. The first was
I think this is good soundtrack for Asmongold. Okay, whatever is playing right now is slow, sinister. Okay, very peculiar. All right, it's perfect soundtrack.
This temporary restraining order. The other possibility is some form of injunctive relief. Now, I don't want to get too into the details because I'm bound to get something wrong, but the question is one of urgency and immediacy. The issue is that we recently saw somebody shot and badly injured. We then saw somebody shot and killed, and that was the second one.
Yep, so far.
Chief, I think we've only had 3 homicides in the city this year. Is that right? 2 of them, ICE. 3 homicides.
Whoa.
2 of them were from ICE. And so the relief that we're asking for
And the one
is
extra?
stopping this Operation Metro Surge in
Jason Bourne.
That's a lie.
preventing
I don't know if
this
it's true or not. I have no idea.
massive influx of agents that is making it very difficult for us to
Is
do
the
our
Kingdom Come
jobs in the city
Deliverance?
as well as we need to do them, and we need to do regular day law enforcement as well. Yes.
They defied a search warrant this morning. Do you think they'll abide by a court order from the federal
Kingdom Come
They
and deliver
have to
your
abide.
mom.
So the question is, they defied a search warrant this morning. Will they abide by a court order by?
For Google
a
search
federal
isn't
judge?
lying. I have no idea.
Everybody listen to that question. The question is, will this administration abide by a court order? These are the underpinnings of our democracy.
It doesn't. It doesn't abide by court. Wait, hold on. Like this has already been tested. No, this has already been tested. It doesn't abide by court orders. The Supreme fucking Court, okay, ordered this Trump administration to bring the motherfuckers back, okay, and they didn't. Yeah, I don't think they care about it. Gonna be real, okay.
Of our republic and of this Constitution.
Stack the courts
The answer
and then
better be
advocate for the
yes.
courts.
Whether you're a Democrat or you're a Republican, you abide by those court orders. The answer has to be yes if you are a patriot for this country.
Oh.
And so, yes, my expectation is that they will abide by the court order because there is not an alternative.
There absolutely is an alternative. Courts are totally biased.
Dude, he's so shameless. Like, he's just so shameless about it, too. Oh my god, dude. Can you imagine, like, a pedophile being condemned? And then they're like, I don't accept the judgment of the court. I don't accept the judgment of this jury. The courts are biased. Can you just imagine if that happened? Like, if some sex offender or some murderer were to say that in a court of law, where they say, you know what? No, I'm innocent. I'm innocent. This is a court of law. This is a court of law, but it's biased. It's biased. I don't know. Sounds like Asmongold is trying to cover for sex offenders, okay? That's what it sounds like to me. Good luck.
Activist judges are huge problems. They need to get impeached, get rid of them.
Okay, dude. Court guidelines
It's hard to
are
hear what
not a
he's saying.
thing.
I don't even know what it's saying. SCOTUS has been stacked as in bias. I mean, there's always going to be bias.
Myself and from the city's perspective, and certainly turn it to Senator Klobuchar.
These guys are crying so much. They are.
I want everyone to just quickly look at the juxtaposition between the way that Minneapolis is showing up and the way that the federal government is showing up.
Yeah.
I want you to look at the difference between the elected leaders and our chief that you've heard talk just before me. They're calling for peace.
Peace?
They're calling for peace notwithstanding this horrific action from the federal government. What are they doing? They're not investigating the person that killed our citizens. They're investigating us.
They should
That's
be.
my ninja. That's
This
my
is
ninja.
political retaliation. This
Good.
is about a political narrative, and
You
that
deserve it.
narrative is making people less safe.
Should be in jail.
For what?
A number of us have spent the last few weeks making our views clear,
What?
standing our ground, but also reaching out to this administration,
I don't
to
know.
Republican
Based, I guess?
leaders.
He's a
to try
clown. He
to
is.
Get them to understand how dangerous this is, how unsafe this is. I
Rhetoric
met
causes
with
this? Yeah.
chiefs from across the metropolitan area. Chief O'Hara was on this call, and they have been reaching out, some of them publicly, some of them behind closed doors. The business community has been reaching out. I have been personally reaching out to the President's Chief of Staff and spoken with her. We have done this day after day after day, so we're not just shutting out any discussions, but we've been explaining to them, and I know the governor has, how dangerous this situation is. And I specifically told people that someone else was going to die. I said this a few days ago. I said it might be by a car, it might be by
Well, then why
some
didn't
other
you tell
way.
them not to interfere with
And
federal
it just
people?
seems like you hope that they're going to
I've never heard any of them say that.
keep escalating
Okay,
it up.
man.
Right now, I hope they're listening.
Not even once.
And I mostly hope that our Republican colleagues are listening and that they will step in, even if it's behind closed doors. If they will make those calls and say, we've got to end this now, and we've got to bring those people out of Minnesota and let our local law enforcement
It's their
do our
fault
job.
that people are
I'll let
getting
my
killed.
colleagues answer this.
Well, I'll just say that I completely agree with the mayor and the senator. But I mean, it is my
It's like they want the desk as political capital. Yeah. They're trying to goad people into doing this so they can use the desk for their own good.
And to define it for what I think it is.
Wait, what? What the fuck are you doing? Do you think everybody else is as fucking sociopathic as you, where they just simply view the deaths as like political capital? Like, do you think everyone is like? Do you think everyone just buys your projection there? Aren't you the one utilizing this as political capital? Aren't you doing the same thing? You realize not everybody is as sociopathic or psychopathic or like crazy or manic as you are, right? You're fucking manic crash out, okay, over this entire Trump stuff for like the last like year.
That is my job. And one thing I have learned about this president is that he does not respond to appeasement. He is a bully. He does not respond to people who appease him. He responds much better to strength than he does to weakness. And I think what we have seen in this state, I am so proud of it. We have seen a combination of strength and peacefulness.
You see, they're gassing it up.
Says who we are. And I believe that that is our best path.
They gas this up like crazy.
For trying to convince this administration that the path that they are on is dangerous to public safety, and it is a losing path that they must abandon.
People are really advocating violence against federal officers to make me mad. Well, it'll happen as long as Trump lets it happen. Trump's the one that has the ability to stop this. He's just letting it happen.
It will be over when we speak as one voice, as one Minnesota, as everybody has been out in the streets. You know, ICE was here.
They're getting their own people killed? Yeah, I know.
And there wasn't any problem. We weren't happy about it. There were people who we were concerned about the way that deportations and arrests were happening. We were worried. But we handled it in a peaceful way. The escalation now is not because Minnesota changed. It is because this White House and Stephen Miller have decided to change their tactics here.
Why? What have they changed?
It will end when our colleagues who are hearing from their constituents because they are reaching out to me and others, listen to their constituents and stand with their constituents and not stand with the White House that is not following the Constitution, breaking our laws, and not living up to the values of this country. That's when it will end.
Right. The values of the country are letting legal aliens in the country. Of course.
You're the legal alien.
Look,
You're not a
I
patriot.
do not pretend to know what Donald Trump is thinking. I do know what they're saying publicly. And on the one hand, they are talking about this being an action that is required for safety, and it is doing exactly the opposite. It is creating danger in our state.
Really?
Again, if this were about safety, there would be many, many options. Our governor has stated, I have stated, we are very much willing. In fact, we have been working with them to apprehend violent offenders, to prosecute these cases, to get criminals off of the streets.
Well, then how'd you let them out?
That is not what we are talking about right now. What they are also saying is that this is simply political retaliation.
Yeah.
They are saying this is political retribution, and it's focused here on a blue city in a blue state.
Of course.
That's not how America works. Other
absolutely it is.
Function that way. We don't.
How did Trump get charged 34 felonies?
Your background or your ideology.
Because he actually committed these crimes, you fucking dolt. Hello? Because he actually committed these crimes? You absolute fucking moron. What? How did he what? Did you look at the fucking allegations? Did you look at the evidence? Did you personally take a look at them? Yeah, exactly. Because he fucking committed the crimes, you fucking retard. What the? Okay.
The same thing.
This should be of deep concern for you, no matter what town you're in America, because your town,
yeah, it is now.
Your liberties, your freedoms could be sacrificed because of what this administration is doing.
Thank you. Ending. I know our end game.
You know what? It's okay. Okay. Having the ability to read is also the burden of power. Okay, it's the burden of knowledge. Having the ability to read means that you get to find out that people like Asmongold are some of the most retarded, evil, malicious motherfuckers on planet Earth. And the burden of that knowledge, okay? The burden of realizing that Asmongold has voting privileges that he does not deserve, okay? It's about realizing that if there was ever a voter ID test, or voter literacy test, Asmongold would never pass it, which in turn makes me advocate for it.
Our end game is to keep Minnesota safe. And so we are asking that ICE get off of our streets and out of our state. Thank you.
There it is. Okay. Well, not really a big surprise there. I'll see if there's any more of this going on.
Bro, I'm so glad that, you know, Asmongold is the modern reenactment of Helen Keller, okay? He's blind and he's deaf.
Or not. Chris, you know I'm holding a press conference too. Yeah, I'll see if I can look at this.
And expose their identities in order to instill fear and violence. And that's not what America is about. We're going to continue to tell the truth about cybersecurity. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for being here. There are two different things that I'd like to discuss with you tonight. The first one being a storm that is barreling down on our country and will be impacting approximately 250 million Americans in 40 different states.
Really?
We've been working together here at the FEMA headquarters and have opened our National Response Coordination Center and are working with local and state authorities to make sure that we're getting individuals and communities pre-deployed resources that they may need.
Have you tried using Google? Have you just tried? You know what? You can even ask Grok. Okay, fuck it. Why don't you just like fact check anything? Just God, you're so stupid, dude. Oh my God, you're so retarded. You are the dumb person's version of a smart person. Okay, everybody that follows you, and especially you. Okay, you are so stupid. You're actually so stupid. Okay, I can't even believe you're able to function, all right, without somebody taking care of you every day. All right, I have no idea how you go day by day taking care of yourself, going to the bathroom, whatever. No idea. All right, you need to have some assistance there. Okay, you need to start spending some of that money on maids. Okay, because oh my God, there's no way that you're functional. Okay, no way.
And also,
no wonder both their parents died. Okay, with you as the caretaker, yeah, of course they died.
Preparing them for the upcoming days, which will significantly impact them and their citizens. The Trump administration and FEMA are working closely with them to get them information, to get them resources, and to help them be prepared and well equipped for the road ahead as we go through this next week. But before I take any questions and give more details on the storm and its impact, I do want to address the tragic situation that we saw in Minneapolis today that unfolded on the streets. It occurred with DHS law enforcement as they carried out their lawful duties to keep Americans safe in the threat of criminal illegal aliens in this country. At 9:05 a.m. Central Time, the Department of Homeland Security law enforcement officials and officers were conducting targeted operations in Minneapolis against an illegal alien whose criminal history included domestic assault with intentionally inflicting bodily harm, disorderly conduct, and driving without a valid license.
You hear like how they said that they wanted to cooperate with getting rid of these illegal aliens that are violent? Well, apparently not. They just go up there and make up bullshit.
An individual approached U.S. Border Patrol officers with a 9mm semi-automatic handgun. The officers attempted to disarm this individual, but the armed suspect reacted violently. Fearing for his life and for the lives of his fellow officers around him, an agent fired defensive shots. Medics were on the scene.
Remember, guys, don't trust the government until the government agrees with you, okay? Based, okay? All right? Remember, these guys are all like, don't trust the feds. Don't trust the government. All right. You know what? Moist Critical was right. Okay. Whatever happened to not trusting the government? Because as far as I'm concerned, okay, Asmongold's like, it's like he's like listening intently. He's like, oh yes, give it to me, mommy, give it to me. Are you okay? Are you okay, mister? Like, do you need help? Like, do you need an adult in the room? Like, are you okay?
Immediately and attempted to deliver medical aid to the subject, but he was pronounced dead at the scene. The suspect also had 2 magazines with ammunition in them that held dozens of rounds.
Wow.
He also had no ID. Amazing. This looks like a situation where an individual arrived at the scene to inflict maximum damage on individuals and to kill law enforcement.
Absolute cinema. Where's the proof?
About hundreds of protesters then showed up at the scene.
It's got nothing to do with
they began
it,
to obstruct and to assault law enforcement
Did he fire
officers.
the gun or not?
We saw objects being thrown at them, including ice and other objects, and a rampant assault began, and even an HS...
I do think they need to investigate this one.
Bro, you need to upgrade your narratives if not even Asmongold is eating it up like Slop, okay? But I think it's especially telling considering how she just lied to Asmongold's face, and Asmongold is going like, they need to investigate this. I'm not going to condemn the federal government yet for lying. Oh, I'm not going to say yet that they're lying, okay? They need to investigate this. This sounds like an investigation. Let's investigate, guys. Guys, let's investigate. Let's do some investigation up in this bitch, okay? Let's do some investigation.
As I said, I think the officer fucked up. They have to investigate this and figure out what actually happened. This one's it's really, really messy.
Officer agent's finger was bitten off. Crowd control measures were deployed to bring.
Say no more. Give him the Medal of Honor. I would say, wait, who bit his finger off? Hold on.
Safety to.
They need to investigate this one. This one, as I said, I think the officer fucked up. They have to investigate this and figure out what actually happened.
Please investigate.
This one's it's really, really messy.
Officer agent's finger was bitten off. Crowd control measures were deployed.
Based. Say no more. Give him the Medal of Honor.
To bring safety to the public. Bitten off. Again, and even
in Minecraft.
HSI officer agent's finger was bitten off. Crowd control measures.
That's some good finger. The finger of fascists.
Were deployed to bring safety to the public and to law enforcement.
We got the motherfucking zombies.
You got $50,000 in bonus. You got to sacrifice a finger for that, okay? $50,000 sign-on bonus. People have sold off their children in the past for bags of rice, okay? For bags of rice.
Out there now.
Once again, I want to remind everybody that this situation and this tragedy did not have to happen.
People out of their minds.
Our law enforcement are doing everything that they can to protect the public. We're praying for this deceased loved one's family and friends, but we also recognize that the Minnesota governor and the Minneapolis mayor need to take a long, hard look in the mirror. They need to evaluate their rhetoric, their conversations, and their encouragement of such violence against our citizens. And
not a single time have I heard any official in Minnesota come out and explicitly say not to interfere and interrupt federal investigations and federal officers. They have never openly stated that, and they have never said that doing that is a crime. They never do that. Not even once have they ever said that. That's the reason why I think they're the ones that are at fault. Is that they intentionally create inflammatory rhetoric to gas people up into being violent, and then once they're violent, then they say, oh wow, look how horrible this is. Yeah, it's happening because you're allowing it to happen. You're gassing this up, and you're basically telling them that all of this stuff is happening, and then they're going out there and acting on it. That's the problem. That's the issue right there. Like, they could shut this down immediately if they just had the police go out there and work with ICE and arrest the people that are being violent towards ICE. They're not using the National Guard.
Excuse me? Work with ICE and become a traitor to the United States of America? No, thank you, okay? We do not work with the Confederacy, okay? We don't work with the Confederacy. I'm sorry. We don't work with Nazi Gestapo fucks, okay? They're not American, all right? They're not American. We only work with Americans, okay?
Or the police in any sort of a way that's proactive to prevent these situations from happening. They're letting these situations happen to ICE, and they're basically using federal officers and their own people as effectively kindling to start this fire. That's what they're doing. They don't care about the people that are being killed. If they cared about the people being killed, they'd tell them not to be violent and interrupt and physically impede a federal officer. This is a common sense reality that anybody who cares about you would tell you. Anybody who actually cares about your
common sense from the same person who literally saw the video and was like, nope, that's not a murder. We need to investigate this.
Well-being, the first thing they would say is stop going out there and being violent and aggressive towards a federal officer. They want the city to burn down because they think that more chaos will make them look like victims. And it doesn't matter to them whether some person gets killed by a federal officer or not. It's not happening to them at all. It doesn't matter to them whether a federal officer gets killed. The only thing that they care about is using these deaths as political capital so they can advance their agenda of bringing in a bunch of illegal aliens and then allowing those people to be in the state.
Okay, as opposed to you, who is not doing that. Based.
And then be counted on the census to give them more political power in the House of Representatives, and to also eventually have their kids become.
You realize that is like the stupidest plan ever to get more votes, right? Like, you realize that is the most inefficient, stupidest, most moronic, most retarded plans to get more votes. What the fuck? If people just want to go out and win elections, just go out and just fake the votes, okay? Why is there any need to get illegal immigrants into the country, which is hard enough in the first place, okay? If they can even survive the journey. And then to get them voting privileges and to get them past, what, security? To get them past what? How would this even work? You need to detail this out. You need to, like, go step by step here, okay? I'm a little confused.
Voters because they're being born here as citizens.
Exactly. These guys rode Charlie Kirk's course for months. The entire MAGA movement is a bunch of necrophiliacs, okay?
That's the end goal that they have. And any Republican that's going along with them is just signing basically the execution of the possibility of them ever getting anything done. They're being used cannon fodder? Yeah, exactly. Socialist Minnesota? Yeah, I've seen that. Yeah, they're being deployed. Exactly. That's what they're doing.
Our law enforcement officers. I'll remind you that Governor Walz today in his press conference said that our officers were not even law enforcement, which is a lie. He's called them the Gestapo. He's encouraged.
Yeah, you're calling them a Gestapo. Like, who does that? I mean, like, really, like, it's so unnecessarily inflammatory that you're just making things worse on purpose. The guy wasn't violent. I mean, he obviously was being.
Okay, he's 100% grifting here. Asmongold doesn't actually believe this. He knows that ICE is acting like the Gestapo. He knows that. He knows that. Unnecessarily inflammatory? Excuse me? That's like every single time anybody from the Trump administration opens their mouth, okay? That's, yeah, they are the ones being, like, crazy, all right? So I don't want to hear that. What the fuck?
Like, I mean, would you really tell somebody that you cared about that whenever you have a weapon on you that you should physically resist federal law enforcement whenever they're trying to arrest you? Like, if you cared about someone, would you give them that?
If the law enforcement was trying to kill them? I mean, self-defense is the thing, right? Second Amendment rights? Yeah, exactly. That's what I thought. War is never about mercy, okay?
Advice? I wouldn't. You're an idiot.
Residents and citizens and violent rioters to resist. He's doxed their identities, putting themselves and their families' lives in jeopardy. He's refused to turn over murderers to federal law enforcement officers. He's protected illegal criminals and protected them from being brought to justice, and even overseen a historic, unprecedented theft of American taxpayer dollars.
Wait, did she use the word
Tens of
doxed?
billions of dollars were stolen under his watch, and he allowed it to happen, and in some instances may have even facilitated it. In other cities and states across the country, we don't see this happen. Local, state, and officials work with us to make sure that we're making their streets safer. I'll point to the city of Memphis, which is where there is a Democrat mayor in place. He worked.
Well, it's obvious that ICE isn't the problem. If ICE was the problem, ICE would be the problem all across the country. But they're not. They're all.
You were so close, Asmongold. Asmongold. You were so close. Okay. If they were the problem, they would be the problem across the entire country. Right. And they're not? Wait, what? Okay. If you carry, you are 10 times more responsible to de-escalate than you don't. Do you really disagree with that? I'm sorry, but the punishment for anything like that in no way is execution, okay? Not even Asmongold agrees with you, Thinkerchin, all right? I'm just saying. If you wanted to come in and debate, come in and debate, okay? Come into the server. Going to join the weight room. Let's go.
Only the problem in these states that don't cooperate with them and allow rioters and criminals to actively impede the federal officers. You don't hear about these things happening in Florida or Texas. And the reason why is because the government is working with ICE and they're basically executing the will of the people based off of the election. That's the reason why.
With us and our federal law enforcement officers, and we saw murder rates drop by 50% because of that partnership. We've seen historic lows in the criminal acts that have happened in that city. We've had the same amount of law enforcement officers there, but a very different result because of the leadership in place. Last week, ICE did over 2,000 different operations, and we saw people be brought to justice and the American people made safer because of that work.
Yeah, obviously. And anybody who says, like, I mean, do you think that you can find a single person who is a trainer or an advocate for concealed carry or like any sort of instructor that will tell you that whenever you're concealed carrying, the best option to do whenever a federal agent is trying to apprehend you is to violently resist arrest? Do you think a single person that is an instructor...
You know, my mic installed, but it sounds fun. If you want, I do it winky face. I don't know. I don't like the fact that you did a winky face. Maybe not, okay? I don't like the fact you did a winky face. That's weird. My mic installed? If you don't have a mic installed, then GG, it's over. I win.
...for concealed carry would tell you that. Absolutely not.
We don't have this problem. in Texas
That's
or
how
in
the
Florida,
rules are.
because those individuals in those states work with us.
That's right.
And they make sure that they keep peace and calm while they bring criminals to justice. In
do
Minneapolis,
comply? Yeah.
Governor Walz and Mayor Fry, they instead choose violence. They instead choose
the law?
to
Yeah.
encourage the destruction of their city and the crime against their people. It appears that they want this lawlessness to continue. It appears that they want chaos to distract from the theft and the fraud and the corruption of their city. I'll remind you that this city has been corrupt for years with what we've seen with people that have been stealing taxpayer money, all under the leadership of Governor Walz and
Don't
Mayor
let it
Fry.
happen.
I'm asking for all the
This is like the onion skit version of like, you can call me with your phone, by the way. This is like the onion skit version of like of like what the onion thinks like this would look like. It's so crazy to me. Whatever. Very ironic.
authorities in
Very
Minneapolis and the leaders to work with us. And there are two things that we have repeatedly asked the governor and the mayor to do. Number one, all we want them to do is that when they are going to release a dangerous criminal from their jails, turn them.
So what you want them to do is to bend over, oil up, all right, lube your ass, and get ready for a pegging. Okay, that's what you want. Good memes.
Them over to us so we can get them out of this country as soon as possible.
Imagine being against this. It's insane to me that this is even it's even a conversation.
I'm against
yes,
this.
obviously, if somebody
I'm
is a
against
violent
this.
criminal, they should be immediately turned over to the ICE. Like, what are we doing?
Since we have been back in the White House with President
It's
Trump's
wild. Yeah, it
leadership,
is.
they have released over 490 criminals onto their streets rather than allow us to get them out of the country to keep families safe. The second thing that we have asked the governor and the mayor to do is to help us keep people safe. Just give us backup on the streets while we do our targeted operations to get illegal criminals out of our country. And then we wouldn't have to be there facing these types of situations that we face with violent rioters who are impacting and attacking our law enforcement officers. That's all. Those are the two requests that we've asked of them. We've asked them to help us do that so that we can continue to see success in Minneapolis like we see in so many other cities and communities across the country. But they have refused because they want us talking about attacking law enforcement officers instead of the fraud and the theft that they facilitated in Minnesota.
I think that's also true, is that you're using this as a smokescreen to remove themselves from accountability for all of the different fraud that's just been exposed in Minnesota. I don't think there's really a coincidence that, all this stuff starts getting exposed and now, there's chaos everywhere and they're talking about this. I think that's definitely true. Why are people in charge allowed to aid criminals but not normal people? Because we don't hold them accountable. It's that simple. Every rule is only as strong as its enforcement mechanism, and we just simply don't enforce the laws on those people.
That's right. We don't
One thing
enforce
I'd like
the law.
to do before I
Hooray.
take your questions on that
On
situation
Trump.
on the storm is give you a few facts about the storm and what we're facing here in the coming days.
I'm going to skip
This
ahead
storm
past
is going
this.
to produce life-threatening winds. The most home family are safe out by the and the District of Columbia. This is coming, and we are turning those around immediately to responders, and we are continuously talking to restore that as quick as possible.
He's so close. No, he's already there. He is grifting. I don't think, like, Asmongold, in my opinion, okay, what Asmongold is saying is that Asmongold is just watching Destiny's coverage of him and then just copying all of these points verbatim and then just, like, doing no you. That's all he's doing. That's all he's doing. That's it. All right? He's already there, okay? He knows what he's doing. He knows that, he is wrong. All right? He's just pretending that he doesn't know, or he's pretending that he's in the right. Okay? Well, he knows that he's wrong. He knows. All right? He knows. Otherwise, he would have debated Destiny, okay?
To do that. Stay home if possible. Take care of your family members. Check on your neighbors.
Yeah.
And continue to work with your local officials to get through this difficult storm. And we will work to keep people safe. With that, I'll take any questions that you may have.
Okay, here we go.
Yes.
Is DHS leading the investigation into this shooting? And if so, will there be a criminal investigation? And also, will we see body camera released from the officers involved?
We are
That's a great question.
conducting this investigation just like we do all other officer-involved shootings, and we'll continue to do that.
Just a minute. I don't know why the audio's dying.
Who had a license.
Okay.
Did the 37-year-old who had a license to carry, did he brandish a gun? And at what point did law enforcement retrieve the gun? And
I don't think they probably really know.
Can you offer clarity on
This individual and took action to defend the officer's life and those of the public around him. And I don't know of any.
Why did he just, like, skip forward?
Peaceful protester that shows up with a gun and ammunition rather than a sign. This is a violent riot when you have someone showing up with weapons and are using them to assault law enforcement officers.
Because video appears to show he's disarmed before.
He used the gun to assault law enforcement officers? What are you saying?
Shots are fired.
Yeah, that's what it says.
I just want clarity on that. And beyond that, I just want to follow up and ask who within the federal government is leading the criminal investigation, understanding that CBP OPR has opened up an internal investigation? And beyond that, why did federal agents tell Minneapolis Police Department to leave the scene?
We're continuing to follow the exact same protocols that we always have. And so this investigation is ongoing. We're continuing to gather the facts as they unfold throughout that. And we'll do it just like we did under the entire Trump administration and previous administrations. Nothing has changed, and we'll continue to release details as we have them. But I want you to not distract away from the facts of this situation.
Okay.
Our law enforcement officers were there doing a targeted operation against an individual who was in this country illegally and had a criminal conviction for domestic assault with intent to do bodily harm and other convictions as well.
That's insane.
This individual went and impeded their law enforcement operations, attacked those officers, had a weapon on him, and dozens of rounds of ammunition, wishing to inflict harm on these officers, coming brandishing like that and impeding their work that they were doing. We'll continue to allow. That is a different incident that happened at the same situation after the tragedy unfolded. But yes, that's the kind of assaults and violence that our law enforcement officers are facing out in the streets, and that the local leaders are encouraging.
I think there's a good chance that the officers fucked up. I think they're sweeping for it too much. That's my opinion. I think that they're misrepresenting it. I don't think he brandished the weapon. It didn't seem like, I mean, there's no way to know, like if his intent or goal was to kill as many people as possible, he wouldn't have tried to get in an arm wrestling contest with them. He would have just pulled out his gun whenever they were turned around and started shooting. I just don't really see that being the reality. I think they should absolutely do an investigation. I think two things can be true at the same time. The guy that went out and got shot was a fucking moron, and he definitely shouldn't have gone out and escalated things while he was carrying a weapon like that, and he should not have resisted arrest like that either.
Wrong. He's practicing his Second Amendment rights without actually doing anything crazy. If you have a concealed firearm, maybe you should be cognizant of that, but that shouldn't be like if you're not even like the moment that you're brandishing, then you're involving the gun into the situation. If you're not brandishing, you're not involving the gun into the situation. All right? If you're concealed carry and you're not even showing it in order to intimidate anybody, the gun is not a part of the situation. Okay? The gun was never a part of the situation. But the DHS, sorry, not the DHS, ICE was the one that made it a part of the situation. It was never a part of the situation. Okay? Wrong.
This was a huge mistake. Him getting in the way and trying to like stop that guy from like going after the woman, the federal agent, that's a huge mistake. And I bet every single person who is a concealed carry instructor in the entire fucking country would say that it would be a mistake to actively resist law enforcement and to try to antagonize and physically interfere with law enforcement operations whenever you're carrying a handgun. Like, I mean, this is obviously a huge mistake and nobody would recommend doing this. It was stupid for him to do that. All that being said, I don't think that it seems like he was disarmed when they shot him, and I think that calls for an investigation. And it seems like the officer that shot him made a huge mistake. That's it. Yeah, it's literally that simple.
Just a mistake.
Like, I feel like both of these things are true.
Damn, dude. Yours crazy.
Remember what Mayor Fry has said, that he wanted ICE out of the city. We have been working and had a presence in that city for
I don't really think that we're going to have certainty on this until we see the body cam footage, and even then it'll be hard to say.
Yeah, he never brandished it. If anything,
like, in general, I think it's a very it's very uncertain. Like, it looks to me like the officer was at fault, and I think that it's very likely. But I mean, again, like, they have to have an investigation and figure it out.
We are there.
You mean that's like watching the fucking 9-minute video of George Floyd dying and then going like, we need to have an investigation. Like, yeah, there's nothing wrong with having an investigation, but you sound crazy. Are you okay?
To enforce the law and to make sure that the public is safe. Just since we have been there, we have arrested thousands of individuals that have criminal convictions and are in this country illegally and gotten them off the streets of Minneapolis. The two things that we've asked the mayor and the governor for is that they would partner with us, and before they let somebody dangerous out of their jails, that they would let us know so we can deport them out of our country. I do not know why they continue to choose the side of lawbreakers, criminals.
The reason why they're not deporting them is they want to use them as political capital. That's the reason why. And they have the long-term goal of weaponizing them as voters. That's the reason why they're not getting rid of illegal aliens.
Nope.
And rapists over the citizens of Minneapolis. And this situation that we have today is a tragedy that we don't have to have. We have it because we have a mayor and a governor who encourage this violence and encourage this type of rioting. And remember, these are the individuals that were in charge when Minneapolis...
If you're resisting an officer, the officer doesn't need to wait for you to take your gun out and point it at him. I don't think that resisting an officer means that they should shoot you. Like, I don't think so. Like, I think that's too far.
Minneapolis burned in 2020.
Yeah, it's
they
just, facilitated
it.
Yeah, no shit, Sherlock.
encouraged it, and they saw the destruction, and we all watched the destruction of that city back then. It doesn't have to happen again. It appears that they're following the same playbook, and the reason that they're doing it is to distract from the corruption that they have facilitated in fraud and theft from the American taxpayers. Tens of billions of dollars they have been funneled into criminal pockets and stolen from vulnerable people that needed these programs to take care of their children, to go out and provide services to individuals that were developmentally disabled, people that needed programs that the federal government has to take care of those that are less fortunate and need it. And instead, Governor Walz and Mayor Fry allowed that kind of theft to continue, and now they want to perpetuate violence against our law enforcement officers to cover it up.
Secretary, you just made claims that the individual posed a threat to law enforcement.
That is no claim. It is the facts. The facts of this situation. This individual showed up to a law enforcement operation with a weapon and dozens of rounds of ammunition. He wasn't there to peacefully protest. He was there to perpetuate violence, and he was asked to show up and to continue to resist by a governor who's irresponsible and has a long history of corruption and lying. And we won't stand for it anymore. These law enforcement officers take it.
Yeah, she's right. I mean, there's no way you can spin it that going to a place with a loaded gun while you're resisting and fighting against federal officers, like, there's no way you can spin that as a good decision. That's absolutely a bad call.
You know what else was a bad decision? The person who killed one of Hitler's right-hand men, like that one Jewish boy back during the war who killed like one of Hitler's friends, and then Hitler vowed vengeance and retributive violence. I mean, yeah, you probably shouldn't have done that because, you know, like, you're just making things worse in the long run, right? But like, really? Are we gonna blame the boy? Are you going to blame the Nazi party, right?
They get up every single day and they go out to protect the public.
Of course you shouldn't do that.
Many of these individuals live in their communities. And this mayor and this governor have doxed them. They have allowed people to threaten them and their families and expose their identities in order to instill fear and violence. And that's not what America is about. We're going to continue to tell the truth about Minnesota, Minneapolis, what happened here, the theft over the last many years that these leaders have facilitated. And we're going to continue to do our work to get to the bottom of the investigations. And the one question you should be asking is the mayor, the governor, and the attorney general have all confirmed that they have been subpoenaed to come in front of a criminal federal grand jury. So they are covering up and are being in a part of a system where they are going to be brought to justice for anything that they had to do with this investigation. They have confirmed they've been subpoenaed, and they will be in front of a grand jury to get that criminal investigation unfolding and to disclose the kind of fraud that they have allowed to happen.
Yes. Terrorist, is that something you agree with, and have you seen any evidence?
When you perpetuate violence against a government because of ideological reasons and for reasons to resist and perpetuate violence, that is the definition of domestic terrorism. This individual who came with weapons and ammunition to stop a law enforcement.
Well, I bet if they ever, I bet if they ever did a toxicology report on like this guy, they're like, we have found traces of H2O in his system, and then Asmongold would be like, see, he drowned. It wasn't the law enforcement officer's fault, he drowned.
Operation of federal law enforcement officers committed an act of domestic terrorism. That's the facts.
Where's the evidence of his ideology?
Yes.
Drew Evans, superintendent of Minnesota Bureau of Criminal Apprehension, had said during a news conference today that when federal agents blocked his agency from the shooting scene, when they went, got a judicial warrant, they returned, they were still blocked. Why were they?
We have asked these state officials to help partner with us on law enforcement operations for months. Ever since President Trump came into the White House, we've asked them for their partnership to stand alongside of us so we could do targeted operations against criminal illegal aliens and to help us make their streets safer. They have refused over and over and over again, and they have perpetuated a narrative that is absolutely false. And our federal law enforcement officers will continue to do their work, and they'll do that to make America safe again.
Secretary,
yes.
Sorry, this is the second DHS law enforcement operation shooting that's happened this year. There was another incident in Portland. 5 people have also died.
If you weren't literally retarded, you wouldn't be in a situation to get shot by federal agents while in the possession of multiple mags of ammo. It's so simple. Yeah, it's a huge fuck up. Massive fuck up. Massive mistake. What about Rittenhouse? He showed up to a protest with a gun? It wasn't about showing up to a protest with a gun. It was about actively engaging a federal officer physically and then immediately after that resisting arrest. Of course you should be able to go to a protest with a gun. I don't think anybody's debating that.
I can't do this no more. I can't do this no more. I can't do it. I'm at my limit. Okay? I'm at my limit. Okay? How much more of this?
But the moment that you're getting into a physical altercation with the federal officer, then that's a totally different situation. I think you're deliberately misunderstanding. So resisting arrest equals execution? Sometimes it can be. And the probability of you being killed while you're resisting arrest is infinitely higher than the probability of you being killed while you're not resisting arrest. And that's why I don't think that it's a good idea to do that. Whether you think that's okay or not is up to you. And you can make whatever distinction on that you want. But what I'm saying is inevitably the facts. The probability of something going wrong when you're resisting arrest goes up massively. And if you don't want something to go wrong, you shouldn't resist arrest. And when you are resisting arrest, you shouldn't have a gun. Duh. That doesn't mean that it's okay to shoot the guy. I've said multiple times there should be an investigation. But we have to apply some common sense to this also.
An invasion of millions of people over our southern border and let people come into this country that were completely unvetted.
Yeah.
We know for a fact
Obviously
that we had
mistake.
hundreds, if not thousands, of terrorists, suspected terrorists, criminal organizations and gangs that came in and have been committing criminal activities against American citizens for years now, that the American people said enough is enough. We want them out of our country. We want them brought to justice. And they trusted President Trump to go out there and to make America safe again.
He did.
It is absolutely false to say that there's more incidents with our law enforcement than there was in history before. In fact, our accuracy and our operations are being conducted in a manner that is historic for accuracy and taking care of people and doing so safely. So the narrative with the press that they've perpetuated that we have more individuals that have been jeopardized or that our detention centers are is absolutely false. Our detention standards and the people that are being taken care of there are at the highest level they've ever been. They exceed state and local standards, and we'll continue to do that and make sure that people have the facts around how people are treated when they're brought into detention, and then we take them home.
Secretary, We've seen some reports about witnesses being taken to the Whipple Federal Building in Minneapolis. Could you explain why the witnesses of the shooting this morning have been taken to that building?
Probably to ask him questions. I mean, I think that's what makes sense. She's lying about the shooting. Doesn't it make you wonder if she lies about other things too? Yeah, it does. That's why I'm trusting what I saw in the video. Yeah, I think.
But you're not. But you're not. Stupid.
That's a good point. And I don't know if she's necessarily lying. She might have access to more information than I have. But from what I'm seeing on the video, it seems like it was unjustified to shoot him. But it's going to be hard to say, and they need to release the body cam footage, and then we can know for sure. That's really what my viewpoint on it is. It's pretty simple.
Witnesses to, are you talking about the ones that have been detained that are illegal aliens?
No, the witnesses, I think, to the event in Minneapolis.
I won't speak to the investigation and the details, and those will continue to unfold, but I do know that we're continuing to follow the same protocols that we always have.
Secretary, no.
Was there a question back here on the storm?
Does anyone have a question on the storm? We are at FEMA headquarters.
Probably not, right?
Secretary, no. Yes. If these are targeted arrests, why are these immigration agents going after civilian protests out of their way? And second,
this individual impeded the law enforcement officers and attacked them. State the facts as they unfolded on the street today. We were doing a targeted operation against an illegal criminal, and this individual came with a weapon and dozens of rounds of ammunition and attacked them. And these agents took action to defend their lives and to defend the lives of the people around them and acted according to their training. And we will continue to let this process go forward and not allow people like Governor Walz and Mayor Frey to lie about what actually unfolded on that street. Now they have deemed this situation an unlawful assembly, and these leaders aren't even cleaning up the situation that they have as far as the violent riots that we see unfolding in Minneapolis right now.
Yeah, I think it's just gonna keep getting worse too.
Need to be strong, take action, protect their citizens, and partner with us to go after these criminals that perpetuate violence
Press are so
and to
bad.
keep our law enforcement officers.
Like the only thing they should be asking for is body cam footage. Like every single press, if you care about actually finding out what happened with this, you need to be asking for the body cam footage of the actual officers and to figure out what really happened. Because that's the main thing that you need to figure out this. Because I'm going to be honest, guys, from all the different angles, it's really hard to tell what's going on. It is. I think that, again, like I feel like it seems like the officers fucked up, but I'm not 100% on that. And you've got to have the body cam footage. It's inconclusive. Like, I mean, I wouldn't put somebody in jail over that.
Safe. Let's all be grateful
it's
for
very
people
unclear.
who take an oath every day and they go out to enforce the laws. That is their job, is to enforce the laws and to make sure that there is consequences for breaking the law in this country and that it applies equally to everybody. That is what they do. They do it every day. They do thousands of operations every single week, and they do it with excellence. Don't let political corrupt leaders who are just trying to cover up their theft of American taxpayer dollars try to distract you from the facts of the situation. One more question, right here.
Governor Tim Walz said he told Susie Wiles that Minnesota would take the lead on this investigation. Are you working with local law enforcement on the investigation?
This is the same protocol we'll always follow. Who would
Probably
trust
not.
Governor Walz at this point?
Yeah.
The man has stood up and encouraged resistance. He has refused to partner with us. He's sacrificed his citizens' safety and their well-being by choosing the side of people who break the law and who steal money and who perpetuate violence. He has chosen all of that and backed an administration previously that allowed an invasion of our country. We need to partner with people who truly understand that the law is the law, and in the United States, we will keep people safe. Thank you. Last question.
What was the last one?
Closer to invoking the Insurrection Act.
The president will
Yes.
use every tool that he needs to follow through on his
They have to do that. Like, they need to use the Insurrection Act. They have to go harder on this, because if they don't go harder on it, what's going to end up happening is it's just going to keep getting worse. Every single day, this problem will escalate until they finally put their foot down and stop it.
promises to the American people. I'm proud to work for a president that wants to keep people safe, and he recognizes that political individuals like Governor Walz and Mayor Fry need to be met head-on with recognizing that we're not going to allow them to distract us from what they facilitated for corruption in their state. We're going to treat Minneapolis exactly the way that we have treated every other city across this country as far as helping to make those streets safe. Remember, we have other cities with Democrat mayors, Republican mayors that we worked well with together. We've driven down the crime rates. We've driven down the murder rates. We have continued to keep people safe, and we have stopped hundreds of millions of lethal doses of drugs from killing our children, and have continued to do operations to make sure that we're protecting them, our kids and our grandkids, from the criminal networks that Joe Biden led in and leaders like Governor Walz allowed to be successful and to thrive on the streets of Minneapolis.
I think that people feel they feel like comfortable with being violent and aggressive when they think that they can get away with it. And if you have an overwhelming force of federal agents and military there, then the probability of them being violent or aggressive goes down dramatically.
It's going to stop. All of the control in this situation is in Governor Walz.
A great example of this is that, like, I remember this was like during the LA protests, that there were like a few guys there with like a Humvee, and there were like two, like, I don't know, like National Guardsmen right behind these two people that were having the most extreme, like, just dramatic, ridiculous argument about politics, but everybody was totally civil and nobody was being violent at all. And the reason why is because right there next to them, there were two armed fucking soldiers, basically, that had machine guns. So it's always easy to keep people accountable whenever there are degrees of accountability.
Yeah, but then you can also force opinions by keeping the guns nearby, you dumbass. All right, this assumes that the people with the guns are not political. All right, in this case they are. Stupid moron. Are the people with the guns like political, or are they not political? Are they political? Oh, okay. Well, rip.
But whenever there's no way to do that, you saw tons of violence happening in LA. And to the extent that people feel like they're going to be held accountable is to the extent that they will act like they're going to be held accountable. And it's just that simple.
Partner with us on, before you release a murderer out into the streets, give them to us so we can get them out of our country. We are focused specifically on child pedophiles and sexual assault and trafficking rings in Minneapolis. Have brought dozens and dozens of them to justice. Why is he protecting them and refusing to work with us? All he has to do is, before you let somebody out of your jail onto the streets, is give them to us so we can get them out of our country. The second thing is just keep people safe. Work with us so that we can go get these criminals and get out of there and not have to worry about our law enforcement officers getting attacked by individuals with guns and ammunition and weapons and assaulting and doxing them and their families. We'll continue to do all that we can. We also want to continue to make sure that everybody recognizes this storm is significant. It's the largest storm that we've seen impact the most states and this big of a population in possibly decades. So we want everybody to recognize the seriousness of it. Please stay home with your family.
To do this.
We will continue to give you announcements. We'll continue to work with your governors to get the resources that you need. Go to our website, ready.gov, and get a list of recommendations from us, but continue to pay attention to your local officials, and we'll continue to have conversations with every one of your emergency management directors and your governors to make sure that they're supported throughout this process. Again, it's going to be very, very cold. So
okay, well, there it is. I'll look at everything else now, but like that's pretty much about the end of it. And this is another this is more chaos. This is more shit going down. Let me go ahead and look at this here. Yep, a ton of fucking people out there.
Tonight, we heard from their police chief that their top priority is making sure that the rest of the night remains peaceful. What are the top tactics that are going to get that done?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, this seems totally fine. I mean, nobody's in the road. Nobody's destroying anything. This looks like maybe a small fire. It's not really a big deal. Like, I don't see anything wrong with this. Like, it's not a big deal at all. It's fine. Like, I think that it's so obvious to, like, understand what the difference between the two things are. Like, there's no problem with having a peaceful protest. There's no problem with having a demonstration. There's no problem with somebody expressing that they don't like ICE or they want ICE to leave. I think that's everybody's First Amendment right to do. But the problem is that when you have people that think that, you know, by large numbers, they can just simply enforce their will on other people, people that think that because they're aggrieved enough that it's okay for them to break the law, people that think that they don't have to follow the commands of a law enforcement officer, that's actually a problem. This right here, this isn't a problem. This is totally fine. That's how I see it. Yeah, people inciting should be immediately detained. Yeah, I think so. Serious question, why would their mission take priority over public safety? Why would they continue their ICE presence when there's obviously contentious? Well, because wouldn't a better solution be to reduce presence and reevaluate the situation? No, it wouldn't be, because if you do that, you create a reward structure around being violent and being aggressive to basically not have to follow the law. You see what I'm saying, right? So, like, for example, if the idea is that, well, if...
Okay, I'm done. Never concede a single inch to these fucking fascist fucks, okay? These absolute pathetic, inbred, dipshit morons, okay? Fuck all these guys, okay? How is it wrong what Asmon said? Because guys are Nazis? Because his entire worldview is influenced by how hard he should suck Trump's dick, okay? He's throating it, okay? It's a big fat cock in his mouth, okay? He's like, oh yes, give me more Daddy Trump. And he's like, oh my God, my entire worldview is influenced on this cum that is flowing down my throat right now, okay? If you want to actually see my views, okay, just rewind to the beginning of this like fucking 2-hour coverage, okay? That I spent fucking 3 to 4 hours on, okay? All right, instead of going like, oh, but what's your take? What's your disagreement? What's your whatever? Okay, stop being lazy, all right? Do some research for once, unlike Asmongold, all right? You're welcome.